Welcome, good evening. Welcome, my brothers and my sisters. Good to see Rush and Trinity here together in the same group. I had to get my fresh cup of coffee. You guys, I will be getting the little boxes tomorrow. I hope I ordered the right size. I am not muted, right? Okay, I'm not muted. I hope I order the right size boxes so I can send you guys those mugs. I will say, if you guys like them, let me know. I'm going to try to see if there is a way that I can get maybe bigger ones, or maybe a different way with just maybe bigger letters so that you guys can. This coffee is good tonight. That's for sure. That's for sure. So you guys can either maybe order some, or you can give me your opinion and see if maybe that is something that we can order, or sell later, to be able to get some merch out there. I am thinking about some shirts eventually. I do have the stuff to be able to make it. I have some contacts that I have created before when I was doing my photography. I was trying to do some, selling some shirts. I was able to do that for some birthdays, funerals, and whatnot, but not something that I really went 100% on. So we'll see if maybe if we have time. You guys already know what we're trying to do next year in May. So if that doesn't fall through, it doesn't matter. We're going to continue pushing forward, and we're going to continue to speaking for the people. Unfortunately, if we don't get ourselves involved in government, it's going to be definitely a lot harder to be able to make a difference. So we'll see what where God takes us with that. Robert and my man. What's going on, Mikey? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. All right. I think I put chat for everybody. So as we get some libtards, guys, just make sure that, obviously we don't want, death threats and stuff like that. I think if they do, just warn them on the chat, and go ahead and throw some of the emojis. Let me sign into the chat so that I can type with my browser. Send some of these emojis every time somebody does like somebody's threatening me. You can put some of these and just finish it with one of those, and then that way I'll pay attention to that comment. Okay, hopefully that's a good way to do it. Every time you throw emojis like this, I can see them. They pop up more, so that way you guys can just use those emojis, and I'll try to see if there is a message from you, Trinity. I'm going to go ahead and add Mike on this. My man. We're going to add my man on this one. Don't want to add Robert, because then, he gets all anxious, and then he almost has a heart attack, and I don't want to put too much pressure on Bob tonight. So, salud, my friend. Stay thirsty. We'll go with two moderators tonight. We'll see how that goes. I will open the lines for some people to go ahead and call in. So we'll see what happens. Free Derek Chauvin. I don't know, man. I agree with that, but I think it's just going to cause more problems than it will justice. It's very unfortunate, but yes. I don't know, man. No one is above the law. No one illegal shall remain. All right, we're going to go ahead and put Dams. We'll give Dams a little bit of access on here. All right, so just let all the comments fly, okay? If somebody's threatening, you can go ahead and put the libtards emoji on. Like, okay, we're removing Robert. Rush baby, nice. You gotta throw these. But you got to finish it with one. So it has to be some of these, and you got to finish it with this. It doesn't matter how many you put. All right, I will take a look at those, and then that's how I know. Okay, don't block anybody. I will. If I block somebody and I see them on my block list, I know why. Okay, because I don't want to unblock people that shouldn't be on this chat. There is people that literally it doesn't make a difference on the algorithm. It just it doesn't and just so you know, I do have some restrictions on the chat, so comments will not be seen unless I approve them. Okay, so there is some of that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, give him a 5 minute timeout, but make sure that that you show it to me first. Okay, make sure you put the lip tart emoji on there. So it's good. You guys don't see the comments from Maricha. Maricha, yeah. No comments? Good, good. If you see any comments that are hidden on there, don't unhide them, okay? I'll just look at them, but don't unhide them. All right, it looks like the rules are being followed. So very nice. I like that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and continue from where we left off this morning on our morning live. And we were talking, let's see, Epstein files, of course. I think we finished up on that. Let me see. Do I have anything else to add to this Epstein files? Let me take a look. Let's see. No. Yes, we got one more video. This is going to make the lip tarts very happy because the video is from CNN. Now, I will warn you, my American patriots,
thank you very much.
Will warn you that you might not like what you're going to hear from this site. Let's see. Trinity, that video you sent me, of course, has been taken down by the owner. It may be something to do with maybe some copyrights, or who knows? Maybe Tucker might have been upset about it. Which I don't care. I don't think that's what it was, but maybe he's having feelings about it, so he removed it. So let's see. Okay, so we got that. And then we're also going to touch up on Muslims trying to put Sharia law. So we're going to go ahead and watch a clip of the video from CNN, and then I want to finish reading the article that I found earlier on the search about the people from the Epstein files. I think that there is something interesting in there that you might want to hear. I want you guys to always be, what do they call those people? Free thinkers? Just think outside the box, please. If you, listen, I like Bill Clinton, okay? I like Bill Clinton. And I probably like Bill Clinton as much as I like Trump. And, I thought he was a good president. I mean, that besides the BJ at the Oval Office, which who cares? Hey, if Hillary is not doing the job and they want to do that, and, let's give it a 15 minutes of fame. But, I mean, I thought President Bill Clinton was doing a good job. I mean, maybe he wasn't, but I thought he was doing a good job. He was all about border security. He was about Americans first. And I think that was great. But at the end of the day, you know what? He resigned. He said that it was just the right thing to do. Okay, I agree. I understand. And they try to come after him anyway. But, to each his own. It doesn't matter. Even if I like him, I got to admit that some of the things that, he said or did might be good or bad. You got to call it like it is. I am 100% for Trump. 100%. I believe he's innocent, and this is just my opinion. I believe he's innocent. I believe he has nothing to do with what they think in this Epstein files. Is his name going to be there? Of course, we know this. Of course, his name is going to be in there. But what I'm very assured of is that there should be every information that comes out. I'm not going to trust Pam Bundy. I'm not going to trust the media. We're just going to hear it. We're going to take it as we see it, and then we're going to judge after everything is done. Then we'll make a judgment on, is President Donald Trump guilty? Was there anything in there? If it wasn't, I am going to smear it all over your faces if you're against it. I am going to be singing up the top of the roofs that you were wrong, and I'm going to come back and say, I told you so. But if you're right, I will admit it, and we will continue moving forward with the truth. Okay, so right now it's your opinion against my opinion. It is the fake FBI with the real FBI, the fake DOJ with the real DOJ, etc. Fox versus CNN. Fox versus ABC, PBS, and all these other networks. Fox against all of them. And then there's Newsmax. And then there is, I don't know what else. I do have some things to read from my X account. So I'm just giving you little things of what's coming up. All right. Now, I want to say thank you to all of my patrons, my members, for being in here with me today. With that being said, let me read a couple of comments in here. Let's see if anybody has any sense yet. Cold says, damn, you are one very confusing. Now, that's confusing. There's nothing else, guys. That was it. Robert says that did Tucker Carlson forget to have Governor Walz how to use the product correctly? Man says Chris Rock did some material about that. Well, really, I haven't heard Chris Rock in a long time. Jewel says, so sad. He is really, really bad. 600 is crazy. He is crazy. Yes, he is. I don't know if that's how you said it, but that's the way I'm reading it. Damn Tears tastes good, says Dennis' brother. Robert should have my spot is mud. He was here first. Man, these guys, man. You see, I hate it when people stick up for each other. You guys make it difficult. I don't want you kicking anybody. Robert, if you kick somebody out, bro, I am going to ban you from Mud Raider forever. All right? All right, let's see what else we got in here. Let's see. Okay, Trump. Okay, so Dems for Tears. Go ahead and leave comments like the one that Maddie made in there. That's fine. That should be okay. Let me see. All right, Maddie says, bro, literally can't give a single example of why Clinton was a good president. Now, there's a delay from the time that I say things, so maybe you haven't heard yet that I told you that he stands for border control and Americans first. Let's see. What do we got here? Maggie says we are right. Okay. Michael, Trump is squeaky clean. Okay, Michael, I'm with you. Robert says, sure wish Transtivia will learn how to spell in this chat. Oh, man, that's some good coffee. I made, let me see, about 2, maybe 3 cups worth of coffee. Let's say the humanitarian. We'll see. We'll see if it's really a humanitarian. You've already lose. I think he means you already lost. He's going to jail. Okay, here's somebody that has an opinion and claims it to be a fact. That is the wrong way. That's not the way justice works. Remember, innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. The court of law. Got it? Got it. All right, here we go. The way we got the man says, go Navy. Yes, go Navy. Go Army. What's going on? What's up? So one of you guys texting me here or what? Okay, says gotta be coffee. Then it is. Wait, where's it? Let's see. Okay, all right. There, we're gonna give you your wish. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and leave Robert as the moderator. Dance for tears. You're too sensitive, they say. You guys are funny, man. Let's see. That was when Biden was president. They're not laughing now, are they? At Kush. Kush. You Cushies. Hey, all the people that like marijuana should be very happy now that Trump has signed that executive order. I'm surprised that none of the high libtards have said anything about that. How about that, guys? How about the marijuana executive order? Anybody has any input on that before we jump into our follow-ups from earlier today? Anybody has any inputs on the marijuana executive order? What's going on, Brother Salt? Say hello to the Mrs. Salt. You guys are awesome. All right, here we go. 5-second count. 3, 2, 1. All right, first video right here from CNN. They had found some scoop. There's some dirt on President Donald Trump. Let's find out what that is.
It released a new batch of documents in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, including chilling new evidence that some viewers may find disturbing. This is a jailhouse letter, apparently written by a Jeffrey Epstein. It says J. Epstein, and it was sent to another infamous sex offender. That would be Larry Nassar. Now,
if you guys are watching this live, you won't be able to watch this back, probably. I'm not sure. You won't be able to watch this back if it's not live because there is music playing for the news. And, well, sometimes that is actually copyrighted. Just a heads up.
The letter appears to include a reference to President Trump. We should note President Trump is not accused of any criminal wrongdoing. And I just spoke to a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse, Haley Robeson, a short time ago. Here's what she said. And DOJ says some of these things are salacious and there's no truth behind it. That's the statement it just released. But what do you think about the mention of Trump in that letter and what it said?
I think it's very apparent in that specific letter that was just publicized from the Epstein files. I think it's very apparent that there are a group of men that enjoy the company of young women and children. And I think that letter emphasizes that he knew what was going on. And that complicity is enough for me to know you have no business being in the position of power.
Strong words there from Haley Robeson. Let's go live now to CNN senior reporter Marshall Cohen join us here in the Situation Room. So walk us through that letter. What did it actually say, Marshall?
Yeah, Pam. So let's be really clear about what we know and what we don't know. We have actually been aware for a couple years that Epstein tried to send a letter, or maybe did send a letter, to Nassar from prison. That's been out there. We have never seen it before, and it apparently was in the drop today from the Justice Department. It was written to LN, Larry Nassar, on the envelope, and it was signed by J. Epstein. And it was postmarked just a couple days after Epstein's suicide. No conspiracy there. It's not too crazy to think that prison officials will need to look at stuff before it goes out in the mail.
I started reading the comments and all right, let's do a quick review because I don't want you libtards to come in here and then just look like a fool. Okay, BRR. Listen, Mr. 18. We know President Trump was good friends, if not best friends, with Epstein. Multiple pictures, multiple parties. All the things that we have are adult women, consenting adult women. Whatever you think it is, we know it. We knew he flew in the plane. We don't know he was on an island, and if he was, it doesn't mean that he was doing anything in that island, period. There's got to be concrete evidence. Handwritten notes, that doesn't mean anything. That's not proof. Do you understand? These are just informational things that we can take into consideration, but this is not proof of anything. Do you understand that? Having somebody else saying this person is doing this is not proof. Do you understand that? There has to be actual, factual proof. You're looking at DNA, video. There's got to be something concrete. Even semen. Go Navy. It has to be something concrete. Not something that somebody that doesn't like somebody can say bad things about somebody else. That's not facts. That's not proof. That doesn't mean jack squat. Do you understand that? With that being said, let's go ahead and listen to what they're saying. Just listen. Stop making your conclusions that the guy is guilty. Stop doing that. Stop it. I can make a letter about all of you guys in the left side and say, did this. And does that make it a fact? No, it doesn't. Think. Common sense. Think outside the box. We want factual evidence. Not just somebody wrote a note saying President Trump, oh, Trump this, Trump that. No, that's not proof. That's not a fact. That's somebody else saying. That's hearsay. That's not proof. Do you understand? All right. Capiche. Got it. All right. Here we go.
So it's dated just a few days after that suicide, and I will read for you what it said. And as you mentioned, Pam, it's kind of disturbing. This is the letter. Quote, "As you know by now, I have taken the short route home. Good luck. We shared one thing, our love and caring for young ladies and the hope that they'd reach their full potential. Our president also shares our love of young nubile girls," which is obviously the disgusting words of one sexual predator to another. But I should make clear that Donald Trump has never been accused of any sexual wrongdoing by law enforcement, and obviously he's never been charged with any of these Epstein-related crimes.
And so the short route home reference, do we think that's him talking about dying by suicide? Because it came out a few days after,
The
right?
timeline would seem to suggest so.
Yeah. We're also seeing this 2021 Mar-a-Lago subpoena relating to the Ghislaine Maxwell case.
Yeah.
This is new, right? Do we not know about the subpoena to Mar-a-Lago?
I didn't know about it. And
Okay,
I
well,
don't
Marshall Cohen, you've been all over this story.
I don't think it was out there before. Our colleague Michael Williams found it this morning in the batch of 30,000 documents, a subpoena sent by the Justice Department to Mar-a-Lago October 2021, just a few weeks before the start of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. It is redacted, but it is clear through the redactions that they were looking for employment records about someone. We don't know who.
Oh yeah, I do want to ask you guys. I saw something on the internet, came through my feed. They actually said something about something about the PDF files. They copied the PDF file and transferred them over, I think, on a Word document or something, and it actually unredacted everything. Is that true? I've never seen that before, but just throwing that out there in case you didn't know, or if you do know about that, go ahead and put that on the chat. I'm very curious.
But I should point out that we do know that there was one very well-known person that did work at Mar-a-Lago when it was actually recruited to work for Epstein, and that was Virginia Giuffre, who was one of Epstein's victims. Not sure if the subpoena is about her, but there's been a lot of talk about her being at both Mar-a-Lago and Epstein's estate, and she died by suicide earlier this year.
Yeah, very sad. How is the DOJ responding to all of these revelations? Because it put out a statement with this batch, but not the first one.
They went on the offensive this morning and on offense to defend Donald Trump. Let me read for you what they put out in a tweet this morning as they rolled out this batch of tens of thousands of files. They said some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, these claims are unfounded and false. If they had a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against Trump already. So framing the entire conversation right off the bat to say, if you see stuff about Trump, don't believe it. But as the woman you just spoke to in the last hour made clear, there's a lot of stuff in here that has been vetted and verified. Maxwell was convicted. Epstein, before he was charged with the federal case, he had been convicted in a state case 20 years earlier. So, the Justice Department sort of massaging the situation here, trying to defend Trump. But as we've seen, there's a lot of stuff in here that has been verified and has vindicated a lot of those victims.
All right, Marshall Cohen, thank you as always. I know you and the team have a lot of work going through these documents.
I want to bring in Nick Ackerman, former Assistant Special Watergate Prosecutor. He joins us by phone. So, Nick, a letter like that from Jeffrey Epstein in the days before he took his own life, Epstein, of course, who had a plea deal from years before and was accused of sexual abuse at the time he wrote it, a letter like that written to another sex abuser, does it have any legal significance?
Well, I don't know how much legal significance it has. It certainly corroborates what we've heard from other victims, that Donald Trump had an inclination to grab women and misuse his position in various ways before he became president. And it's consistent with all these other people have said. And it's also consistent with Donald Trump's 50th birthday wish to Jeffrey Epstein. So whether or not this would be admissible in a court of law is a whole different story. But certainly from a political standpoint and from the fact that this is something that Jeffrey Epstein was saying, we know that they were very close and they're very good friends, and that this is pretty damning. I mean, to go on with this letter, it says,
Hold on, brother. Dennis is invested in Hecla Mining, a steel company in which Pelosi invested just when Trump was talking about the new ships to be built for the Navy. Robinhood app is perfect for that. Bro, that's not a joke. That's actually very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. You're on your own on that one, bro. Stop putting my name on things, bro.
in that letter,
Thanks, guys, for letting me know about that copy and paste. BRR, I saw your comment there. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. We'll see if we can find the clip on here. I know it's a guy that he's pretty funny, though. He just reviews other people's content, kind of like I do, except he does like in the shorts feed and things like that.
when a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab, snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system, meaning the prison system. And he signed it saying, "Life is unfair, yours, J. Epstein." So you've got two, essentially, abusers that are writing to each other. And in the course of that, Jeffrey Epstein references Donald Trump, who has gotten away with all of this.
It is worth noting, obviously, that President Trump or Donald Trump not charged with anything in connection with Jeffrey Epstein at all. It's also possible that Jeffrey Epstein was trying to stick it to Donald Trump.
So let's go ahead and take into perspective as well, right? All these Epstein files were released, right? All these Epstein files were released for the investigation, of course, not to the public, but for the investigation. And this is something that the whole people that was, prosecuting, defending, etc., they knew about every single one of these files, right? Is that correct? Is anybody with me on that? If I am right, my question will be, why now? We already know the answer to that question. But if all these files were already seen through by prosecutors, by the court, etc., why now? Right? Because if it's compelling evidence in there that somebody was proven guilty and they weren't, well, we got to know why. So again, if it's not concrete proof, if it's not factual, if it's not something that can be proven beyond the benefit of doubt, it's irrelevant. Okay? Thank you, DBS. Wasn't Epstein in New York? It was sent from Virginia. Its postal code is at the top of the letter. The link redact wasn't Epstein in New York. It was sent from Virginia. Let's see. Well, I thought it said it was from the jail or something. This one says Manhattan Correctional, New York City. Check. No longer at this address. Larry Nassar, whatever his name is, inmate, 9300 South Wilmot Road. I don't know what the hell that is, but the zip code is in Arizona, 85756. You know what? I used to be really good at reading cursive. Not anymore. But the girls, when a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab, snatch, whereas we ended up snatching, grabbing the mess balls of the system. Life is unfair. Yours, J. Epstein. Dear LN, as you know, by now, I have taken the short route home. Good luck. We share one thing, our love and caring for young ladies and the hope they reach their full potential. Our president also shares our love and young, I think. Man, not the best reading, but I'm going to say this. The lady that was talking in here, she said, and let's play it again. Because the letter says, our president also shares our love for young ones, right? That's it. Unless their stupid CNN logo is blocking the other word, I could have swore that she said young minors or something like that. Let me see where she at. Let's go ahead. Sorry, we're going to have to go back.
Marshall Cohen, thank you as always. I know you and the team have a lot of work going through these documents.
I want to bring in Nick Ackerman, former Assistant Special Watergate Prosecutor. He joins us by phone. So, Nick, a letter like that from Jeffrey Epstein in the days before he took his own life, Epstein, of course, who had a plea deal from years before and was accused of sexual abuse at the time he wrote it, a letter like that written to another sex abuser, does it have any legal significance?
Well, I don't know how much legal significance it has. It certainly corroborates what we've heard from other victims, that Donald Trump had an inclination to grab women and misuse his position in various ways before he became president. And it's consistent with all these other people have said. And it's also consistent with Donald Trump's 50th birthday wish to Jeffrey Epstein. So whether or not this would be admissible in a court of law is a whole different story. But certainly from a political standpoint and from the fact that this is something that Jeff...
I'm going to admit, I will admit something, and this is why I understand the frustration of the left, okay? I'm going to admit something to you here. If it was Biden instead of Trump's name, I would believe he's guilty. You know why? Not because I hate Biden. I don't hate Biden. I actually feel sorry for him. I pray for Biden. He's done a lot of nasty stuff throughout his political career. I know. And I know his punishment. But I still feel bad for him, okay? And I don't like that people took advantage, especially his wife, taking advantage of her husband. She doesn't love him. She's a witch. I have no respect for her. How can you do that to your husband? You should be looking after him. Watch out for him. Stop putting him in ridicule. Don't put him out there in public when he's pooping on his pants, like literally. He come on, man. Have some mercy on the old man. You already got his money. You already got everything else. Help the old man. Now, with that being said, President Biden was the one sniffing women and children. Come on. He looked like a pervert. He looked like a child molester. He looks like a predator. Young. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can believe that because I see the way he acts. But President Donald Trump, come on. Even when he hugs people, not the same. He's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? President Biden has his older daughter, his old daughter. You guys know about this already. In the shower and the whole thing, right? See, I'm more inclined to believe that. But Trump might be a womanizer. He might be an adulterer. Trump was, he might have been a party animal. He might have had some orgies. I get it. I get it. But listen, that's the thing that comes with power sometimes and money. Okay? I don't recommend that. I'm just saying. Hey, don't hate the messenger. I'm just saying. I will be more inclined to that because I've seen his reaction. I've seen how children fear Biden. I've seen that. I've seen that. Come on. We got Hunter Biden. I think I might have something, okay, from Hunter Biden. We'll find out. But let's go ahead and continue watching the clip here from CNN. I'm glad that you guys are being active on the chat, okay? Again, it's just an observation, and I will be more inclined. But if I say Biden is a pedophile, then he should be in jail 100%. I'm afraid that I would be wrong. Okay, because without proof, without facts, without proof, what's the? Jesus, I just said that in English. Now I can't say it in English no more. But you have to be proved guilty beyond the benefit of doubt, or something like that, right? So without that, I would be wrong myself. Okay, so I want you to know that. Who else is it that I like a lot? I've never really trusted George Bush. I'm sorry, I never trusted the Bushes. I have my own theories about why we went to war in the Gulf, in the Middle East. Who else was it? There's another person. There's a lot of them, but now they're Republicans. So I'm just saying. Let's continue.
Jeffrey Epstein is saying, we know that they were very close and they're very good friends, and that this is pretty damning. I mean, to go on with this letter, it says in that letter, when a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab, snatch, whereas we ended up snatching grub in the mess halls of the system, meaning the prison system. And he signed it saying, "Life is unfair, yours, J. Epstein." So you've got two essentially abusers that are writing.
Elizabeth, thank you so much. Proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. You're amazing.
To each other, and in the course of that, Jeffrey Epstein references Donald Trump, who has gotten away with all of this.
It is worth noting, obviously, that President Trump or Donald Trump not charged with anything in connection with Jeffrey Epstein at all. It's also possible that Jeffrey Epstein was trying to stick it to Donald Trump, who was president at this point, the moment that the letter was written. Of greater, perhaps, legal significance, Nick, is the other information that came out overnight. A letter written by an attorney for the Southern District of New York, which indicated, and this is a verbatim, that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously had been recorded or that we were aware. And at times, on two of the flights, two of the passengers were women who would be possible witnesses.
All right, guys, I'm doubting everybody's English. What is the right way to say it? Guilty beyond all reasonable doubt, or a shadow of a doubt, or beyond a shadow of a doubt. Not beyond reasonable doubt. Come on, man. Somebody that speaks English. Welcome, JR. Good to see my Boricua in the house. Hope you're doing good, brother. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. See, even you Americans in English have a hard time, all right? Every word that I say in English is translated. I don't know why I never have been able to shake that. I wish that I can just think in English and speak in English. It doesn't work like that in my brain, so forgive me if sometimes I misspeak. I sometimes eat words, especially when I type, and you can tell that I still have an accent because I type things as I pronounce them, and so that's how you're gonna catch me. I am not saying that I am perfect in English, guys, and I've always made this disclaimer. I know people make fun of my accent. My accent is not heavy like some other people's English accent, okay? But the problem is that I'm thinking 100% in Spanish. And if I cannot think of a word that will make sense in English, I get stuck. Okay, so that's my disclaimer. But thank you. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Everybody agree with that, right? I think beyond a reasonable doubt, without the shadow of a doubt. Either way, to me, it sounds okay. So you guys get the point. Beyond reasonable doubt. Is that right? Not guilty beyond a reasonable... Hey, somebody Google that shit, man. Come on. All right. That's the idea, okay? You guys get the point. You're right more often than you think, Dennis. Thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. But, it's better to be humble than to be, just all egotistical and think that I know everything because, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm always consider myself very average to a little bit above average, okay? That's about as conceited as I get. Merry Christmas, brother. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., I will get up early. I will make a prayer. Now, I do have to drop my wife off at work, so it doesn't matter. 7 a.m., I am going to be here live, and I'm just going to be praying. I don't know how long, but I'm going to be praying. And I think I might share a Jesus story as well. And then we'll see. We'll see what's happening in the day. Okay, we'll go ahead and hit up some of the clips that we get for the day. But I want to make something very clear to you guys, and because I appreciate you being in here. I believe on separation of religion and of government. Okay, now because our government was established under God, right? A constitution was written. It was under God and all this stuff. There is going to be some things in our laws that will kind of come together, but they're still separate. The moral code is still there. I hope that makes sense, okay? The moral code is still there, but that doesn't mean that because we are Christians, the president's supposed to do this like this. No, it's not. But it looks very similar, very familiar. For example, this country is mostly, I will say the majority are still Christian, okay? The majority is still Christian, and everything that was founded, the foundation of this country was founded under God, a Christian, Abraham's God. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Israel's God. This country was founded by that, okay? So it does have to do with religion. But when it comes to laws, right? Like, for example, I'll give you one example and then we'll continue, okay? I'll give you one of the biggest examples, and I wish that we had 1,000 people right now listening so that everybody can hear it at the same time. One of the things that people bring up, right, when they want to bring up religion, they always say, what would Jesus say? What does Jesus say? What does the Bible said about foreigners? Well, the Bible says one thing, but the government, it's separate from religion. So this is where I separate religion, right? So yes, that we said that we're supposed to treat them like ourselves. I get it. But see, the Bible doesn't make the laws of our country. And so I have to separate religion from the law. And if the immigration law says you cannot come into this country illegally, you have to respect that. Now, why do I agree with respecting the law and not allowing illegal immigrants? Well, for one, we have criminals coming into our country. We got terrorists. We have people that hate us. They want to infiltrate our country and destroy us. There is people that are religions that hate us, want to destroy us, want to kill us. And the best way that they can do that is infiltrating government and turn us against each other. So there's more. There's more to it. So you got to use your common sense. You got to think outside the box. You got to put the A, B, and C together. And you know what I'm saying? I hope I'm not saying too much too fast. I know I do have ADHD, and I have it under control most of the time. Sometimes it comes out. Okay, I'm very impatient. I go crazy if I can get something done. Okay, one of the things that happens with me is I have 1,000 answers and ideas in my head, and when I try to put one in, the other one sneaks in, and then it kind of throws me off a little bit. But sometimes when I'm right in the middle of something, I am very good at staying on point. I'm very good at finishing something and doing it very, very, very good, better than most. Okay, but I have to control it. So I get it. Some of the, people come in trolling, all this stuff. That's their job to disrupt, etc. And so, they try to upset me so that I don't concentrate. I get it. I get it. But you have to understand that there is more than one reason. It's not just because the law says illegal immigrants are not allowed. No. But I know that if they're not vetted, it's a higher chance that we're going to have murderers in here, rapists, and all this, drug trafficking, human trafficking. All these things happen when I support illegal immigration. People making the journey to get here, just to the border till they can come in. Okay? It's more than just the law. You have to think why. You know what? Today, I had a torta. Torta for, it was called Torta Cubana. It was a Mexican restaurant, of course, but they just call it Cubana because I don't know why. They put a bunch of different things in it. And I'm sitting in there waiting for my food in the restaurant. And I know you guys, if you guys are on the left, you probably don't believe me, okay? But I was sitting in there, and I kid you not, guys. I'm sitting in there with my, I was wearing my Trump hat. Some people know the 45, 47, they stare at me really hard like they want to do something, but they never do it. I was sitting in there, and I was tearing up, and my heart is broken. I'm looking at all the Hispanic people in this restaurant, and I see these families, the husband and the wife and the kids, and in my mind, I'm just thinking, man, I hope they're legal. I will hate to see these people get deported. My heart breaks for them. But then something comes in me and says, hey, listen, if they're here illegally, they still got to go. It doesn't matter how much it hurts me. It doesn't matter how much I love my Hispanic people. Now, I know that illegals are not just Hispanic, obviously, but that's my people. That's our culture. See, the Hispanic culture doesn't matter. Mexico all the way down to the south of Central America. We have almost the same culture. We just have different celebrations, different Mayan, whatever, different Indian culture. But we're very similar. I enjoy mariachi. I enjoy Mexican company. I enjoy Guatemalans. I enjoy Salvadorians. I enjoy all company from my Hispanic people. But if they're here illegally, they got to go. And there's just one thing that I told my wife, and I said, baby, I really need to run. And I'm like, right now, I'm kind of choking up. You guys probably don't understand or don't see it. And I said, I really want to make it a priority that when we run for office, I really want to fight hardcore, like nobody has ever fought, for immigration reform. But it's going to be very simple and very clear, very transparent. If you have a criminal record, I don't care if you were drunk driving, your ass is out. If there is a record that you were abusing your wife, your ass is out. It doesn't matter. If there is any criminal felony on your record, you are out. Everybody else that passes the criminal background test and all this other stuff here in the States, we're going to have to pick a number because we can't make everybody legal. We will pick up a number and we will be so transparent and we're going to make it very clear. This is not going to happen every time that we have illegal immigration being broken down. But I do want to save a lot of families that truly are family-oriented, that believe in God, especially that are true Christians. You know why? Because they have family values. Besides, being here illegally, I get it. I know that's breaking the law. But we got to have immigration reform. 100%. I'm going to fight for that. That will be my priority. You guys already know. I wanna speak for our Native Americans as well. We have the Chinook tribe that nobody wants to accept or whatever. I know we have veterans. I know we have homeless to take care of. I know we have farmers. There is a lot of things that we got to tackle. But I just want you to know that it does break my heart. But the law is the law. And if they come for anybody that is illegal, whether you think they're good people or not, it doesn't matter. If they are here illegally, they got to go. You got to put your feelings away. You got to stop thinking that religion is going to save them for being here. Like the Muslims. The Muslims always put that excuse. Oh, you're a Christian country. Mind you, they don't believe in Christianity. But they sure as hell like to remind us that the Christians are supposed to be like this and like this and like that. And that's why they are supposed to get what they want. But once they infiltrated, once they are based on your area, they'll try to kick you out. They will outbreed you. How many Christians in here have 5 to 10 wives? Oh, thank you, Lord. How many Christians in this country have 5 to 10 wives? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing a number out there. There's a lot of rich people in the Muslim countries, okay? Very rich people. They get wives, they get concubines, and yes, they get to make babies with every single one of them. Imagine, one man, 5 wives every year. 5 Muslim women giving birth to Muslims because they don't believe on abortion for Muslims, only for Americans, only for white people, only for black people. See, they want everybody else to kill themselves. This is what they do. But they will multiply and they'll reproduce. And if you haven't heard of this, well, now you heard it. I can have, Junior says, one wife, two exes, many baby mamas. That is true. That can also happen. But you can also have many wives, many concubines, and you can have many exes with many baby mamas. Okay? You can have many baby mamas. But the point is that Muslims don't do it like that. Muslims do it with a purpose. They inculc, is that the word? Inculcar? Inculcar. They, how do you say that? Anybody in Spanish? What is that word? Inculcar. Let me look it up. I'll research it. You see, Google even helps me with my Spanish. Inculcar. Inculcar. Inculcar in English, it means, really, inculcate? No, that's not the word. Plant. Okay, like sewing. Impress. Imprint. Yeah, I guess imprinting. Okay, let's call it imprinting. That makes sense. The imprinting is kind of like this is what I believe. This is who I am. Boom! I'm gonna make a baby, and I'm gonna make him just like me, to think just like me. Let me see. Anthony says, brother, looking into Yahweh versus Yahweh, the Jewish Talmud does not accept the tetragram. I don't even know what the hell that went to. I don't know where that went to. Sorry, brother. I'm not trying to be like too religious. Okay, I'm trying to keep it as simple. What I'm saying is that there's common sense that we have to use on a lot of things. Okay, we are being outbred. We are being outbred by Muslims. Okay, by people that don't have American values, by people that don't have loyalty to the United States of America. We have the biggest example over there. To indoctrinate. Thank you, Doom. That is one word. To indoctrinate. Dearborn, Michigan. Go to Dearborn, Michigan and practice your Christian religion freely and openly and contradict Muslims. See what happens. Go to Minnesota and go into a public park and start preaching the word of Jesus Christ. Start preaching Christianity. See what happens. I'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. Here in Seattle, if people have, like I went to the football game a while back. I went to a football game, and there was a guy at the entrance of the stadium with a big loud speaker. Repent from your sins. Oh, Jesus is coming back. Repent from your... Okay, dude. Okay, turn that shit off. I'm sorry. Turn that off, man. Turn that off. That is not how you do it. I have never, ever agreed on that style of preaching. What I have always admired is this. Jesus didn't go on the streets and started, hey, hear me, everybody, come here, you sinners. No, that wasn't Jesus. He would go in, put in some work, make a miracle, fellowship with the people, show them some love and kindness, and then he will go up to an area where whoever wanted to hear the truth, whoever wanted to know about God, would follow him. And so this is the reason why you have churches. And then you got people in there that judge the churches because in the church, they are free to worship. Nobody bothers anybody. They can preach the word of God uncensored. Nobody bothers them. So when people see that there is a church, they will come in. See, they're guided by the Holy Spirit. They come in and they want to check it out. They want to check it out. And if it feels nice, if the word of God is being true, you got to be honest with yourself. If they are sharing the word of God and you feel connected and you feel there's a change in your life, that's nice. Stay there. But if you find that there is corruption in there, find a different church. It doesn't matter if they make fun of you. It doesn't matter if they tell you that you can't, you don't plant roots, etc. It doesn't matter. Be true to who you are seeking. You are seeking God. And you will find men of God, okay, that preach in the church. So with that being said, I don't want to continue to go too far on this one, okay? Muslim worship the God of Abraham. No, they don't, Michael. They worship Allah. Allah is not the God of Abraham. I'm sorry to tell you, but Allah is not Abraham's God. All right. VLC is a atheist and a veteran. Whew. That, my friends, right there, that's a very dangerous connection. Dangerous combination. Sorry, dangerous combination. All right, let's continue listening to this guy from CNN. I ramble about. Guys, I'm telling you, I need years to tell you everything that I know. It's just hard to get to the one really short point. If I was preaching a message, yes, I will be able to deliver a short message with more exactitude. Okay, but for now, that's what you get from me. A little bit of rambling about everything.
In a Ghislaine Maxwell case. Now, again, this letter was written at the time, late in Donald Trump's first term when he was president. But the idea that Trump had been on a plane with two people who were witnesses, potentially, in a federal case, what's the significance there?
Well, the significance is that Donald Trump would, of course, be a potential witness as well, which means that he could have been called at the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. So that's pretty shocking, the fact that he could have been called as a witness. That's something that I don't think has been reported before. And it also goes to Donald Trump's knowledge of what Epstein was doing. I mean, don't forget, he's been backing off at every point he can, claiming that he had no idea that Jeffrey Epstein was doing anything illegal. But as these Epstein files come out with the drip, 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 we have learned that Donald Trump knew a bit more than he's acknowledged. For example, there's the email of April 2nd, 2011, where it reflects an email between Epstein and Maxwell, where it says that Donald Trump spent hours in Epstein's house with Virginia, who is one of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual escapades.
Of course, Virginia Giuffre, before she died, said that Donald Trump did not do anything wrong or untoward. And it's also worth noting that the plane trips in question here were between 1993 and 1996, a time before Epstein was charged with anything. Nick Ackerman, a lot of context here, a lot of new information coming out. CNN continues to sift through it. Thank you very much.
What Trump said, Sky Trooper says, Trump said, I love the poorly educated. Guys, we've heard that shit so many times. Come on. Listen to the whole damn clip, okay? Listen to the whole damn clip. We watched the video, guys. Come on. We watched the video. We know where that comes from. Free Palestine from who? Who are you trying to free Palestine from, Sky Trooper? Go ahead and tell me, who are you trying to free Palestine? It's okay. We'll go ahead and go a little detour. Why not? Who are you trying to free Palestine from? Yeah, let's go. I want to hear. Who do you want to free Palestine from? Oh. It's all right. I'll wait. I'll wait for his response. From Israel oppression. Tell me, how does Israel oppress Palestinians? Teach me. Go ahead. That's right, Jorge. Go ahead and teach me why. Let's see, and the Israeli apartheid government. Okay, sure. Now, I'm going to warn you. What I want you to tell me is, on top of it, okay, if you're going to make that statement, I want you to show me, prove to me how Israel is oppressing Hamas. And then I want you to just go a little bit deeper and tell me if what Palestinians are allowed to do in Israel can all the people that are in Israel be allowed to do the same thing in Gaza, in a Muslim country? Go ahead. We'll give you some time. MAGA loves you guys, man. We all love you. Come on, somebody, don't run away, trolls. I need you to answer this. Put the information. Teach us, please. We want to learn. We want to learn. Go ahead. Israel is oppressing Palestinians. DBS, I know. Here we go. But Sky Trooper says Gazans can freely roam Israel. Is that right? Okay. All right. Okay. So that's how they oppress them, huh? So Israel belongs to Israel, number one. If that was true, it is Israel's land. Okay. So there's that one. Neither can the people from the West Bank. Okay. All right. So tell me, they do not have free travel. Do you know why? Serious question. Do you know why they have no freedom travel? Do you know why they don't have free travel? Let's see if you know. If you know that, I'll be impressed. Let's see. Now, again, this is your ideas, your opinion, the information you gather. I'll go ahead and have my own information and my opinion of what I've gathered. Do you want to call in? Do you want to call in and tell me about it? And I'll just give you my ideas. They don't have to be facts. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Do you want to call in? If you want to call in, if it's easier for you to speak, go ahead and give me a call. Why not? Go ahead, call that number right there. You can do *67 if you want to block your number. Of course, if you're here in the States, it's free. You can call and explain to me. Maybe it's easier that way. Maybe it's easier if I just ask you the question and then you can talk about it. Let's see. Who was the other one that was saying was not true? Was that Michael? Never been there, so I can't prove anything about Palestine. Okay, Michael, you smart man. You dodged the bullet. Ball it. Jack, you want to call in and tell me all about Israel and Palestine? All right, guys, I don't have, much. I never cared about these people over there. All I care about is that they're destroying my country here in the United States of America. They are destroying Europe. They are destroying a bunch of people. Okay, except they don't go to Gaza and protest against Hamas, the people that are actually oppressing Palestinians. Let's not talk about Egypt, but yeah, Michael, I appreciate that. I appreciate you being honest. Go ahead. Who was it again? I lost track. Who was it? Let me go back over there. Well, who was it? Sky Trooper. That's right. Because of the Israeli and Egypt blockade. Do you believe Egypt is Israel's friend? Go ahead, brother. I think it's better if you call and you can go ahead and tell us all about that. Yeah, that's right. What about the Christians, Christian Gazans? You mean all the ones that are in Israel or in Gaza? The ones that worship or follow Hamas? I don't know. I'm asking. Okay, so let me see. What do we have? Okay, I'll tell you what. So we just finished watching a clip from Epstein Files. Let me go ahead and read. Let me go ahead and read an article for you guys. Okay, this is so we can go ahead and close in on the argument of the Epstein Files. Okay. What about the Christians in Gaza? They are absolutely not. You're starting to not make sense. Don't go too far from the question. Okay? Let me grab an article for you. First of all, while I read these notes, Star Trooper or whatever the hell the trooper's name is, Sky Trooper. Do me a favor. Go ahead and Google what religions are allowed to be practiced in Israel. And then say what religions are allowed to be practiced in Muslim countries. Okay, find that information. I'll come right back to you. Okay? All right, hold on. Lou says, I don't agree with Dennis much, but you can talk to him. Call him. All right, let me go ahead and read this article, and then I'll let you give me a call, okay? All right, so here we go. While thousands of names appear in the newly released Epstein files from December 2025 and earlier unsealings, no high-profile associates have been charged with new crimes directly because of these releases. Being named or pictured in these files is not an indication of wrongdoing. The only individuals convicted of primary crimes related to the core sex trafficking investigations are Jeffrey Epstein, charged in 2019 with sex trafficking and conspiracy. He died by suicide in federal custody before trial. Very interesting. Ghislaine Maxwell, convicted in 2021 of multiple counts of sex trafficking and conspiracy to entice minors. She is currently serving a 20-year prison sentence. Status of other notable individuals. Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, frequently mentioned in files and accused of sexual abuse, but has not been charged with any crimes. He settled a civil lawsuit with accuser Virginia Giuffre Virginia G. In 2022 without admitting liability. Jean-Luc Brunel, the French modeling agent, was charged in France with the rape of minors and sexual harassment, but died by suicide. Very interesting. In a Paris jail in 2022 while awaiting trial. Very interesting. Okay. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump both appear in flight logs, photos, or witness testimonies released in 24-25. Neither has been charged with wrongdoing or accused of illegal acts in these documents. Other associates, individuals like Alan Dershowitz, Les Wexner, and Glenn Dubin. Oh, that's the name of the guy, Wexner. And Glenn Dubin appear in the documents due to their ties to Epstein, but not one have faced criminal charges related to the investigation. The U.S. Department of Justice continues to release tranches of files, which include photos, emails, interview transcripts by the DOJ has emphasized that many people were mentioned purely in a social or business context. Now, you would think, very easy, very simple, you would think that if Pam Bondi, okay, this is just to close the Epstein thing. You would think that if Pam Bondi was really trying to cover for President Donald Trump, she would have burned these files. Nobody will know any better. Nobody will know any better. Just burn them, shred them, and say, boom, here is all the files. Everything that says Trump on it, she will just remove, and boom, send everything else. Here you go. If they were trying to cover for President Trump, if they were trying for Bill Clinton, which, come on, poor guy. Poor guy. I don't blame him. He's not guilty to me until proven beyond reasonable doubt. Yes, I'll probably forget it by tomorrow or probably later today. But that is the word, okay? All right, so that's it. That is the article that I wanted to read to you. And that, my Sky Trooper, should have given you enough time to giving me some facts. All right. Did anybody else search that information? Are other religions allowed to be practiced in Israel? And is any religion allowed to be practiced in Muslim countries? Michael wants to call in about what? The Epstein files? All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Michael. All right, go ahead, Michael. Go ahead and call. Why not, Michael? I'll give you some time. Don't say I never gave you a chance, okay? Go ahead and call about the Epstein files. I wanna get your input on everything that we read, everything we said, and if you agree Trump is guilty, obviously we're never going to agree on that. But I want to hear your input on that. Okay, go ahead, Michael. Call. Junior, don't call in because then we have the whole chat just making fun of your drunk ass. I love you, brother. Love you. All right, let's see. Yes, Israel allows the practice of other religions. No other Middle Eastern nation or territory, including Gaza, does. Okay, that was very simple. Sister, you know we already know that. But I want him to do the research. I want him to find out for himself. So, Sky Trooper, if you call, you talk to me about Israel and Hamas or Gaza or whatever. And then, Michael, if you call, go ahead and tell me all, but not all. I'll give you some time. All right, we'll give you some limited time. Tell me about the Epstein files, okay? Don't worry about Gaza. Forget about it. I'm not going to ask you about that. Everything just Epstein files. There we go. All right, this Michael?
This is me.
All right, brother. Go ahead. Tell me what are you thinking about the Epstein files?
So the Epstein files have been great the last 5 years. Things have gotten all over the place on both sides of this thing. And I have a hard time believing that you cannot see how Trump and his DOJ is slow walking this thing, because not that he either did anything completely nefarious, but there's obviously, I don't know how you could see it any other way, that they are protecting him.
Yeah.
How could you not see that they're protecting him by not releasing everything like they were ordered to do, and Trump signed the paperwork?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they just do it?
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to keep this one in mind. Remember, all these documents were already viewed by prosecutors, attorney, judges, etc. Okay, they already seen all these files. Right. The release is just for us, the public. That's all that is, the Republic. That's all. So just ask yourself this question: If President Trump already signed everything to be released and everything, why do you think it's taking too long? I mean, the files have already been reviewed by attorneys, prosecutors, the defenders, the judges, etc. Right? Everything. Everybody has already seen this in private. Why do you think, like, honest question, why do you think, what would be the one reason that they would take longer to release these files to the public?
Well, for the obvious reasons, to protect the guilty.
Well, the obvious reason, you can say obvious reason if you don't like Trump or Clinton. Forget about that reasoning. What would be the...
Who's in the file?
Correct, exactly.
It doesn't make any difference what political party
Yeah.
these people are in the file.
Okay, so remember that these documents have already been released, reviewed by prosecutors, defenders, etc. This is just the public that hasn't seen it. We have no authority over the judicial system, right? Our judicial process. Okay, so this is just for the...
why
yeah.
they were not prosecuted.
Okay, so let me answer the question since... Yeah, let me just answer the question because you don't seem to see it. I thought you would think about it. The reason why, and the only reason why I would think, because I'm trying to be neutral about this whole reasonable doubt, right? It's, okay, so you can say that if you don't like Trump, your obvious answer is always going to be, well, they're trying to protect President Trump. And this is why we see CNN, PBS, and ABC, and all these other areas, right, talking about it. And it's just Trump being mentioned. Nobody else, just Trump. The reason why they have to do it slow is because, as a matter of fact, they already made mistakes, right? I just asked you that question about the copy and paste. Shit. Somebody dropped the ball, and they didn't really redacted the documents. And so there is a lot of information, and I'm with you on this one and everybody else that's curious. They redacted all this information that really didn't even need to be redacted. I don't understand why they redacted a lot of this information. But now people are copying and pasting, this PDF files, and they're noticing that most of the documents that were redacted can be unredacted by simply copy and pasting. And so that's one information. But the main reason I think, and it is very legit, is they need to make sure that they do protect the innocent. There's already been one innocent victim complaining about the release of her name on the files. Should have been redacted, but because we keep asking for unredacted, now now she has a problem with it. And so they have to be very careful. This is a big no-no. You cannot release these files too far.
They do have to be very careful.
Yeah, very careful. Exactly.
However, the time for them being careful has long passed. Okay? The Trump DOJ, Pam Bondi, and Cash Patel, and Dan Bongino, who all have flipped completely from what they were saying before they went into the government.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah. Yep.
So they're obviously corrupted, right?
I'm with you. I don't blame you for that. Yes, you're right, 100%. But I don't think like they do.
And they are there because they are Trump loyalists. That's why they have their jobs. Then the common sense thing is that they are protecting Trump.
Okay. All right. Well, that's your stance. I think they're protecting the innocent, but your argument stands. I agree with you because of all the hype that these idiots gave us, and they didn't give us nothing after that.
Let me ask you this. Why is it that Cash Patel and the Trump FBI have not sat down with any of the victims that have come out publicly, put their names out there, done interviews? Why has Cash Patel and the FBI and Bondi and the DOJ not sat down with a single one of these women?
Well, for one, I don't think they are they're prosecuting or defending them. I think that will, now guys, give me a break here. I don't know everything about the law, but I'm just saying this. I think that you're hearing this from somebody else, but here's the thing. No. Listen on the way my logic is it could be flawed. But this is my logic. Pam Bondi is not going to sit out there and go and defend these people. I don't care if they're victims, if they're innocent. That's not her job. She's not going to go out there and defend them. She's also not going to go out there to, she's also not going to go out there to prosecute them. So the people that these innocent victims need to talk to is a lawyer. That lawyer can go ahead and go in with the legalities of things and go to the attorney general. They can go to the FBI. Whatever subpoenas they can get, it goes to the court system. That's not how it works to just say, oh, Pam Bondi, why don't you talk with them? No, they don't have to. I don't believe so. That's just me. That's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know about this every law in the in the courts, but common sense tells me that that's how it needs to be done. They need to get a lawyer if they don't have one, and then that lawyer can go ahead and proceed for them.
We've all got lawyers.
Yeah, then there you go. Then they should follow the law. They know how to follow the law. Don't think that they're like, don't think they're like us. No, lawyers know. CNN will always throw out there, the innocent. Nobody has even come and talked to. What? Wait, what? No, their lawyer, their attorneys need to do that talk. They know better. Okay, so listen, I have seen enough movies, documentaries to tell you this. No victim, whether it's an accusing person or a defending person, not one is going to talk to the opposition without a lawyer present. They will not get a sit down without a lawyer present, right? You agree with that, right?
The victims are not getting prosecuted. The FBI
exactly.
is supposed to be investigating.
Yeah, but they don't need to. No, they don't need to. They already got the statements. No, they already got their statements.
Are witnesses to crimes.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
What are you talking about?
That's not how it works. You see, but you see what I'm saying, though. Like, do you see my logic?
If you investigate a crime, okay, if you're an investigator and you're investigating a crime, your main job is to find witnesses
Yeah.
to the crime.
Why would I? They already testified in public. They spent 3 days testifying in public. What do I need to talk to them for? They talked already. They made their point very clear.
Why does the FBI need to talk to these women?
They don't need
that were
to.
trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein.
Nope, I wouldn't need.
Elaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Why does the FBI need to talk to them?
Yeah, I don't think so. They need to get a lawyer to talk to the FBI. FBI, if they want to talk to them, if they need to, if they feel they need to, they would.
Why would the FBI resist talking to them?
I don't think they are.
They are.
No, I don't think they are. They have to see. Everybody has to follow the law. Everybody keeps blaming the Trump administration, but they don't. They're not a. Yeah, but you're not holding them accountable for. What do you think the victims should do right now? Tell me.
Who accountable?
Tell me what should the victims be doing right now? What do you think?
Telling their story to the FBI.
Okay, why are they telling it to the public?
Because the FBI won't listen.
Bullshit. That's not the reason. You know that. You know the reason. So why are they telling it to the public and not to the actual FBI?
The FBI won't call them in to testify.
What happens if
They haven't called them in.
so what happens if they get
Why
subpoenaed?
won't you're trying to put the onus on the victim? Really? The onus for all of this is on law enforcement. That is where the responsibility
Yes, law.
is.
The key word is law.
Are you seriously trying to hold the victims to a higher standard than the
My friend,
Justice
you're
Department?
missing the point here. You see what you're saying right there?
In a sense of it,
Hold on.
then-
I'm gonna show you why your logic doesn't match. Are you hearing yourself? What are you saying right now? You say the victims? You know they're victims? How do we know they're victims? Do they have a lawyer that has proven? Do they have proof that they're victims or just their word, hearsay?
I don't know. Let's hear it.
Exactly. So they get a lawyer.
Have you listened to them?
I listen to them. They suck. They're boring. I don't believe most of their stories. Some of them might be true. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. Again, I'm going to finish with this. We'll agree to disagree, but I'm going to finish with this. Mike, this is what you don't understand. You never listen. You never listen. Listen, bro, you are condemning somebody already without proof. Somebody's testimony. No. Listen. Okay, see, this is why you left this. You guys never understand. You guys don't know how to process information. I just told you. Listen, I just told you. If the victims get a lawyer, which I'm sure they have, that lawyer goes to court and subpoenas the FBI. Guess what the FBI has to do? They got to show up. Okay, but then I'm wrong, and that's why everything is down to short. All right, Mike, thanks for calling. Your time is up. Thank you, man. I understand where you're at. No, thanks for calling, bro. I appreciate you. We'll agree to disagree. You got good points. But I'm not going to sit here try to convince you. I'm telling you my answer, and you don't want to accept it. That's it. Once I give you my answer, that's it. You can either accept it or reject it, but you can say goodnight.
I don't want to say goodnight.
All right, well, have a good night anyways, because this is my show and I want somebody else to call in, okay? I do respect your points. I think you are more than rightful to believe what you believe, but I got my own opinion on things, all right?
Okay, let me just say this before you cut me.
Hurry up, somebody else is calling. Hold on, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, hurry.
I want you to remember me and know that this was a respectful conversation and that I'm not one of these crazy, whatever, people you like to go off on.
Are you Democrat?
We can have a conversation. We'll do it again, Dennis. God bless you. Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas, man. You take care. All right, who's calling?
This is Anthony.
Anthony, calling about what? Gaza or Epstein?
Well, kind of a little bit of a mixture here.
All right, you pick one. Stop hugging the show, man.
It's tying into that. I kind
Okay. Okay.
Kinda new.
Okay. No problem.
And I heard some things there that I want to explain that I have learned.
Go for it.
All right. So, tetragrammation, the word that I commented in there that you didn't understand what that is. That is kind into stuff that is really hard to understand through religion, through Christian religion.
Yeah.
The Christian religion still accepts that as the word of God. Israel has taken Yahweh and converted their own deity through that conversion of name, the false god.
Yeah. Okay.
And this has led them to create things through religion that they believe is their right. So basically, their wants and sin through religion. Weaponized religion. The Christian religion is being targeted and hurt from very evil beings that exist. I will say to use your own discernment on that, and as well as the viewers to believe in the supernatural or not, use your own discernment with that, but evil does exist.
Absolutely.
They have taken this out of religion. They don't want us to understand that it does. And the things that are going on, for example, the Epstein files, the quickest and best answer you can give for that is that it's far worse than we can imagine. That's the reason why it is being treated and handled the way it is. It's far worse than we can imagine.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
There's no other way you can say it. There are companies now creating things that we cannot comprehend.
This is Anthony. Yep, go ahead.
And they are fooling with stuff that we cannot comprehend.
Sure.
Those are quantum computers.
Yes.
These machines, they will try to sugarcoat it, but they're not going to tell you that they are operating within the, I call it the supernatural, but there's really no way to understand it because it's quantum physics. There's not a single human being, no one here. Jesus maybe, yes, but it's quantum physics. Once you go beyond that, you're breaking the non-physical rules. Non-physical meaning supernatural rules. You're breaking non-physics.
Go ahead.
The best way I can explain it is the evil ones are within the details. Christ exists within, but the evil ones also show themselves from within. Everything is going to come from within in a way. That's our problems. If we don't stop what's going on as we the people, we're going to have something we're not going to comprehend that's going to come about. That's just there's no way to sugarcoat it. We're going to be dealing with forces we cannot understand and we cannot comprehend.
Okay. All right. Let me go ahead. And I agree with everything you said there, but I want you to understand something. Hey, Derek, how are you, my friend? And yes, he's on speakerphone. Sometimes the phone drops it off the speakerphone, but he's been on speakerphone this whole time. So if you guys can't hear him, sorry about that, guys. I try to use the software through the live stream, but it didn't work for me. I don't know how to make it work. That'll be something that I can expand some in the future. But, man, come on, guys. I got a bunch of other stuff that I need to learn myself, okay? So here's what I'm going to say to you, Anthony. Remember, it's very important that, here, for one, I believe on learning, reading the Bible at least 3 times from beginning to end. Don't memorize stuff. Just read it. Try to understand it, but don't try to memorize. Read the Bible, read the Old Testament. There's a lot of history, a lot of explanations, scriptures, wonderful scriptures to follow for encouragement, prosperity, love, etc. Okay? A lot of punishment, a lot of sinful, a lot of laws, a lot of all this stuff. The most important is the New Testament to me, because this is where Jesus gives us a teaching. And what I'm going to share with you is this. Jesus spoke to the people in parables. And the apostles asked Jesus, what, Master? Why do you speak to them in parables? How come you don't talk to them the way you talk to us? right? Because I'm assuming that Jesus was more direct with them because Jesus had chosen them for a reason. See, Jesus didn't walk around just say, hey, is that Paul? Is that Simon? Is that John? Peter? No. He went and looked for the ones that he had chosen before he even came to this earth. Okay?
Yes.
And what happens is this. What you're saying, most people will never understand because it's not meant for them to.
I understand that as well.
So when we preach the gospel of Jesus and we preach from the Bible, right? I'm not a big preacher. I know the Bible. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not worthy of any of those titles to go be a pastor. I used to be for 5 years, missionary pastor, not a congregation pastor, which is totally different. But I am not worthy to be in that position because of the way that I talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out there, being an adulterer or sinning or breaking laws. I don't do that. But my language, I feel, is not for a pastor or a preacher for that matter. Okay? Just my disclosure. So I can understand when you talk to me about, even if you speak in different dimensions and all this other stuff, spiritual battles, I understand all that. But a lot of people are not meant to know that because they're not chosen. Many are called. Everybody's called. That's why we're called to share the gospel, right? The good news. But very few will understand. And this is what I always say on my lives. If you haven't heard me, that's okay. But I always say to people.
This is my first time coming across your
Okay.
channel.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're here, brother. So the one thing I always say to people is this. Don't go out preaching, trying to convince people. It's exhausting and it's useless. Jesus said to go out and share the gospel. And there's a very key why I say what I say. They said, go and knock on the doors, says Jesus. If they let you in, let your peace be with them and bless them. But if they deny you, dust the dust of your sandals and go to the next one. That just tells me is you share the good news. If they accept it, God bless them. Fantastic. Prosper, pray for them. If they reject it, God bless them and walk away. So your message, I love it. For me, it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like we can get into it, but for everybody else to understand, they won't. Only those who are meant to understand will ever understand what is the purpose, of
Power
us.
of knowledge.
Correct.
The core of knowledge.
Correct. I will have arguments with scholars. Scholars is going to school me on knowledge, but I think that God schools them on wisdom. A lot of people have a lot of knowledge, but they don't carry an ounce of wisdom, and that to me is useless. I'd rather be wise than smart, if that makes sense.
I come from electronics background.
Same
working in
here.
electronics.
There you go. Me too.
And I turned away, and what brought me back was seeing it from within electronics. And I do still find that a very interesting message you just shared with me, so I take that in a spiritual manner, what you just shared with me there. And it opens my eyes up a little bit. I might have jumped the gun a little bit on some things there.
No, you're good. Like I said, I'm with you. Some words I don't understand, but that's just my English. I'm limited on some words.
I'm the same way. I'm not good at English. I supposedly had a 7th grade vocabulary in high school, and it was supposed to be better, but
Yeah, I know the feeling, brother.
that's really kind of what I really wanted to share. I'm not trying to sound anti-Semitic or anything.
No, you're not. You're not.
If you go and you read into that word I said, again, the Jewish, they're kind of afraid to say it. And even to me, it's powerful. Tetragrammaton.
Yeah.
If you go into that, it's from Hebrew. It translates into YHWH, the 4-letter word for God.
Yeah, Jawa.
And then when you read the translation version of it, where it's spelled the other way, you can see that that's where Semitics kind of start to diverge and where religion has become very shaky.
Trinity says that nobody in America speaks perfect English, so it's okay. It's all good. This is true. Our American English is not the same as actual English.
Well, English, I have my views on English, and to me, again, spiritually related, English is kind of a weapon. If you say certain words in certain ways in the English manner and you play it backwards, it can have a totally different meaning, especially if you have intent with it, religiously speaking.
Yeah.
And that's again, it just goes to show what I'm trying to explain that away.
Yeah.
But
It's all good, man. I'm good with it. It's just, how would I say? My channel it is about politics because I talk about politics most of the time. That is actually the main reason for my channel. Okay, I got sick of sitting on the sidelines, and I got so much to say. I got to say it. The second is because I do believe in God, and I will speak about God, and I will pray, and I will, maybe read the Bible sometimes. So I do share that. And then sometimes I share my personal stories, and some people make fun of them. Some people accept it and love me more for knowing who I am as a person, where I come from, where I've been, and where we think we want to be. So that's what my channel is about. So that's why a lot of people just think, oh, man, a bunch of random stuff everywhere. Yeah, for the most part, I think everything is random.
That's kind of the reason why I called, is to spread the message of being careful of what you read into religion and following that as the true word, because religion, I'm not trying to say that man has manipulated the Bible, but
I'm sure they have.
There's proof of it.
I'm sure they have.
Enoch was removed, and Enoch is a very interesting chapter that I don't exactly agree with. I believe that is a person that was manipulating things.
Yeah, I think is the books that are actually allowed in the Bible, they had to be non-contradictory. That's why the Quran is failing all over the place, because they contradict itself, and they have different versions, but they contradict itself. And here's the thing: I have nothing against people that want to say, okay, I'm a Muslim. That's okay. Some people are just I don't believe Muslim is a real spiritual God's religion. Here's the thing. So you haven't been here, okay? This is what I believe. I believe that God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who I worship, who I serve, and who I follow. And I believe that God has put government. God gave government.
Excuse me for just a moment.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that going back as far as Adam and Eve too, correct?
All the way down. Okay, so Old Testament. So I'm kind of cutting through it. I'm just kind of cutting through real fast. So when the prophet Samuel, right? You know about the prophet Samuel, since you know some. Okay, Prophet Samuel was asked by the people, "We want a king." Remember that story? We want a king, and God says, "Well, right now you guys are free. I mean, you obey my laws, but you're free. And if you want a king, he's going to tell you what to do. He's going to."
He gave them the king.
So he gave them the king, and there you go. Okay, so now we fast forward to Jesus Christ. Okay, so Christ comes in to fulfill the law, right? And he is the Son of God. He's 100% man. That is part of the sacrifice. He has to be weak, as men are, but he's also very wise, because he is the Father, the Son, right? He's all together. And then 600 years after Christ, a government, not anybody following Christ, right, from the witnesses that we have in the Bible, but some government, right, decided to invent Islam, which means submission. And they used this guy who self-proclaimed holy prophet. His name is Muhammad. He was a pedophile and a murderer. And he's the most holy prophet in the Quran for the Muslims.
You ever heard of Church International?
No.
There are many false prophets, as we both know.
Absolutely, 100%. So I don't pretend to be one, by the way, okay? I don't pretend to be one, by the way, at all. But
I'm not trying to say that I am either. I wanted to spread a message of awareness because I heard your political insight and that you're wanting to get into politics, and that is where the beast resides.
Mm-hmm. I know. I'm not afraid of it.
My message.
Yep.
And it'd take me more than reading the book 3 times to go against that fight.
Well, I appreciate. Do you have any input on Gaza and Israel? Are you pro-Palestine or are you pro-people? You like how I put that in there?
I'm for the people.
There
I
you go.
believe what Israel is doing is wrong because within the Bible there is no specific ethnicity mentioned. It just says my people.
Yes.
It doesn't say a black person. It doesn't say a white person. It doesn't say any of that.
Right.
It just says my people.
Yeah. So everything I've seen, the only reason, there's many, but the only reason why I support Israel is because I know that everybody that surrounds Israel wants them gone. Okay? That's number one. But the main reason,
A lot of people wouldn't know that if I didn't call.
yeah, the main reason is God chose Israel. Now, whether people believe that the Israel today is the same as from the old Bible or it isn't, it is irrelevant. God chose Israel because they were the greatest, the strongest, the bravest, the smartest, the wisest. No. Total opposite. Total opposite. I'm going to insult every single Jew and Hebrew and Israelite right now. They're the dumbest, the weakest, the foolish. They are the most hateful, the most ignorant, any word you can call. But here's the key. God chose them. So the Holy Spirit has to guide them. And that's why they're smart. And that's why they have wisdom. And that's why they're strong. And that's why they're innovative. And that's why they are God's people. See, God uses the one thing that people most doubt. And as a better example, I can give you President Donald Trump. I pray for this man every day. Because he's perfect? No, because he's so flawed. He has made so many mistakes. He has, destroyed so many businesses and there's all this history behind them. But because I trust in God, I've been praying for somebody to come and fight for our country. And what I see in President Donald Trump is a bully, a man who is stubborn, who is not told what to do. He is a leader, as some people call him alpha, right? People don't like the way he does things. But the fact is, they listened. They don't like him or love him, but they have to respect him because they acknowledge the power that he has to be able to, make people come in and deal, make agreements. Hey, this is what's best for you and me. America first. I want to make America prosperous. I want to make an agreement with you. Listen, you need to stop war. You need to stop doing this. You see what I'm saying? But I only believe that because I believe in God and I trust that God has put him in office and that God will give us somebody else. See, when President Donald Trump was cheated out of the election, I believe that was a purpose for that. And we now have 4 years of proof that the left side is gone. And so we got President Donald Trump again by God's will. And, well, all we can do is believe or not. And I choose to believe. That's just me, though. Nobody else has to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just my opinion. It's just my belief. If other people feel the same conviction, then they can follow the same steps. We don't worship Trump, even though I love Trump. I put on my Trump merch all the time. I got my 45-47 Golden USA on, mainly to troll people, honestly. They really love it, especially when I put my Gulf of America hat. Oh, they really love that one.
I won't lie. I am personally distraught with some of this stuff coming out about Trump. The redactions that have been occurred.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on all that. I'm with everybody on that. For me, I'm a selfish man at some point. And I would just say, you know what? Screw the innocent. Just I'll redact everything. Let everybody know. Let the world know. Why not?
The redactions were said to only be for the innocent, not the conspirators. That is a questionable thing.
Yeah.
Minus that, I wanted to leave you with some information for you to do your own research on and to use your own discernment with.
Go for it.
I want you, if you want to as well, okay? Let me rephrase that. If you want to even do it, because some people have had some negative outcomes with memories doing this.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to, research the GATE or the TAG program and have a listen to what's going on there with the state of our country and some of the things that are going on. Diving into the quantum computer stuff as well, because that is a part of it. I believe.
Yeah, I got my theories on the computers, bro. I'm I don't share that because that's just a theory. That's not something I can prove.
I understand, because I work with radio. I have been interested in it since I was 13 years old, and I have been working with it still to this day. I'm 27 now.
Oh, dude, my son, my firstborn is 30 years old. How can you be younger than my son?
And my voice can do that. So, definitely.
No, it's all good. It's not an insult.
But I understand where you're coming from. That ties. It's the same thing with audio waves. It ties into some very interesting things.
Yeah, I used to work on TVs. I used to fix TVs for a living.
Really?
Yeah.
Solid state?
Yeah, here in Washington State.
Say it again, sir?
Here in Washington State.
Excuse me, I meant solid state. Like solid state ones or old school?
Old school and new school. I went from CRTs to the plasmas, to the LCDs, to the LEDs.
So you worked on hybrids too?
Yeah.
I play with vacuum tubes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything. I even worked on stereos from the 80s. So any technology from the mid to late 80s, I worked on.
Okay, so then you would know about the other kind of weapons that can be created using that stuff too. Then.
Yes. Yeah, but well, no, we deny that. We neither confirm nor deny.
Gotcha.
Anthony, thank you so much for your call, man. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, sir.
Yeah, I
Have a
appreciate the
wonderful
talk.
day. Be
God bless
safe,
you.
sir.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else want to call in about Epstein? You can dial the number right now. David, you want to call in about Epstein? So, I want to be very clear that, in my channel, I've always said this. I want patriots that think like me so that we can continue to elaborate and help each other. There is a reason why President Donald Trump has to make his own administration. Yes, it is all about running their agenda. Why? We voted him in. We used our democracy, right? We used our democracy to put President Trump in. And what do we expect? We expect the whole administration to do what he says. That's why we put him as a leader. Now, if he becomes a bad leader, that's us. We voted that in. And if somebody votes him out, then that's okay. That's the democracy. But we will not tolerate cheating. We will not tolerate ballot harvesting. We will not tolerate, hundreds of thousands here, and they say, oh well, they still would have won. No, there's hundreds of thousands that you found. See, but once you find a group of bad things, that's a red flag, and the whole system needs to be checked. I will point this out, guys, and I think some people forget about this, that DOJ has requested voter rolls from every state, and all of the blue states have said no. Why? Why do you think that is? Why is it that the rest of the country does not have a problem with the DOJ having our information, which, by the way, when you get car insurance, you give everything out. When you apply for credit, you give everything out. When you go fill an application for work, you give everything out. Your full name, social security, date of birth, blah, blah, blah. There's no such thing as privacy. The government needs to know everything about us. Now, they don't have to be surveilling me and seeing when I take a dump and when I eat and when I don't, but they definitely need to have my name, social security, address, maybe contact. There's nothing wrong with that. But blue states seem to have caused this problem where they do not want the DOJ to look at voter rolls. Why? The answer is very simple, right? But we're going to keep it out there as a why. All right. Anybody else wants to call in? Let me read a couple of them. Mojo says the only problem is that people think he stands for the middle of working class when he came in for the rich and is going to take great care of him and has been. Okay, Mojo. Let me ask you something. Do you want to call in? You guys have my number, right? Okay. I said Epstein in Gaza. That's okay. And remember, if you ask about Gaza, religion, it's going to be my opinion, okay? And you can take that as a fact or none, but that is my opinion. That is my point of view. That's just how I see things. So don't sit here and argue with me for 30 minutes. I give you my answer, okay? I'm not here for you to convince me. I'm not here to convince you. But if something clicks and something makes sense, then we can be together on that opinion, decision, or whatever. Okay, so if Mojo, let's see, I got to give you that they do that on both sides. Yeah. The issue is that people don't realize the two sides are sitting at the same table. Yeah. Two wings on the same bird. Correct. I am with you so far. Yeah. Okay. Mojo, you want to call? Here, I'm going to give you guys a question. Let me see. How can I'll tell you what, I do have. Let me see, what is this? Maybe I can post a question off of here. North Texas Muslim leaders speak out in support of CARE. Let's take a listen to this, a 3-minute clip.
A coalition of Muslim groups is pushing back against a terrorist proclamation from Governor Greg Abbott. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. The Council on American Islamic Relations is suing the governor and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton over that designation. Today, CARE and its supporters called for the governor to retract his proclamation. Fox 4's Sean Rabb is in our newsroom now with more on this. Sean.
CARE and those standing with them say there is simply no basis for the designation and call it defamatory, destructive, and dangerous.
We're also demanding that Abbott retract his proclamation.
Muslim groups, social justice voices, and interfaith leaders denounce Governor Greg Abbott's proclamation declaring CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, a terrorist and transnational crime organization. CARE has filed a lawsuit against the governor and Attorney General Ken Paxton. Last week, Abbott called the lawsuit lame.
What they need to recognize that we know, and that is CARE has a long history of ties and connections to terrorism, to Hamas.
You know that CARE has condemned Hamas attacks. You know that CARE has spent 31 years fighting terrorism and bigotry. You know that the terrorism boogeyman you invoke is nothing more than a tired, formulaic playbook to stoke fear of Muslims.
Some faith leaders coming alongside CARE.
We stand in steadfast solidarity with our comrades in CARE and in unwavering support of their lawsuit against Abbott's false and unconstitutional proclamation.
Using a new Texas law, the designation bans property acquisition for groups designated as transnational criminal organizations, as well as the people associated with those groups. And the governor's directed the Department of Public Safety to start criminal investigations, though his directive does not identify specific evidence of any Texas criminal activity involving CARE. Governor also said the investigation will target people or groups who unlawfully impose Sharia law, which Abbott alleged was the plan for the Muslim development Epic City in Collin County, something the developers denied.
It is not a system of laws that we are trying to implement to replace American laws, to replace the laws that guide the average American or the Texans. We're not trying to go in and, like the community in Epic, they weren't trying to create a city that had its own system of laws, because there is no Sharia system of laws that people would follow.
State Representative Terry Meza joining the groups asking the governor to retract the proclamation.
Your words are not just wrong, they're dangerous. Making comments like this are dangerous to our Muslim community.
Now, the governor's proclamation also tagged the Muslim Brotherhood, and on Monday, President Donald Trump, by executive order, assigned that same terrorist designation to the Muslim Brotherhood as well, but not to CARE, the group vowing to see the governor in court.
Okay, so So the Muslims say that they are not trying to implement Sharia law. Okay, most of you by now already know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, it has nothing to do that I know everything about Muslims, and I know what I need to know so that I can make my own opinion about if this is okay or if this is wrong. Okay. So I'm going to say to you right now, okay, I agree and I wholeheartedly agree and support freedom of religion. Whether I like it or not, I support it. That is our First Amendment. First Amendment right. But I also believe that we are to protect this country and its people. We are to defend this nation against foreign and domestic terrorists or groups that are trying to harm our beautiful U.S. of A. So I know that the words are dangerous. Same words like Pelosi say, same tactics as taquilla, a lie. Taquilla sounds like tacos, and all you do is make me hungry. Stop using that word. Thank you, Cotton Edge. Thank you, brother. Okay, so what do we know about the Muslims? I'm going to go ahead and stop talking about their fake religion. Let's just go ahead and concentrate on what they're doing. Okay, you and I already know that they were trying to make their own city. You gotta see. They think that they're smart. They think they're smart. They tried making their own city, like no joke, their own city in Texas. Why not? Texas is huge. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to find out. Who cares? Let them. Here is the problem. Nick Shirley is one example. As a matter of fact, why don't we, let me go take a look. Let me go find Nick Shirley. I want to share something here. Nick Shirley. Let me see if I got a page open here. Let me open a new one here. Okay. Let me see Nick Shirley. See if I can find the right clip for you guys. I want you to really pay attention to this. It has nothing to do with hating Muslims, but I want to point something out to you. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Okay, here we go. Now watch this. Now this is 9 days ago, okay? Let me go ahead and pull them out.
And there's also a big...
Okay, so hold on. Before we listen to Nick, they try to build a city of Muslims. They are trying to invade the United States. How? Buying land. Building a city. What happens when we have a city? Well, we got a president. We have a governor. We have a mayor. Who controls the city? And do they have power in the government? See, eventually they will. If you build your own city, you got a postal office, you got a school, blah, blah, blah. You don't agree. They say they do, but they don't agree with Western beliefs. See, even us that are Hispanics, we have a lot in common with the white man, with the European man, with the Spaniard man, with, not much with Irish, but you know what I'm saying? But we can. We have a lot in common. We got Christ. We got God. Some people have Vikings. Some say, Valhalla, whatever. But even then, we have some things in common. We have nothing in common with Muslims. Nothing. And that's crazy, right? It's crazy. So they try to make their own city, and they say they are not trying to make a Muslim law to be above American law, meaning that they still respect all the laws of the United States of America, but in reality, they are just hiding their agenda, which is to build a city to create Muslims only. Not Americans, Muslims only. That's an invasion. I don't care how you see it. I call it a Trojan horse. They're bringing money, they're paying taxes, they're buying land, they're helping the economy. That's a Trojan horse. Why is it a Trojan horse? They have no loyalty to the United States of America. And let me tell you, I shared a video link with Trinity and with Omar today about an Indian man that said some bad things about the Prophet Muhammad for the Muslims. And even the police didn't protect this man. They captured him, they beat him, they tied him around a tree and burned him alive. Muslims. See, they're going to come at you as peaceful people at first. But once they overwhelm you in numbers, you're screwed. Ask Europe. Ask France. Ask Switzerland. Ask all these countries that talk so bad about us. They talk so bad about us. Look at Poland with their immigration laws. They're better than we are when it comes to safety. They're better than any country that has allowed all these terrorists to come in unfiltered, unchecked, because they want to, what? Support illegal immigration. Because nobody is illegal. We're all humans. Human rights. Everybody can go anywhere. Right? All right. So Muslims say they don't want to impose Sharia law. But here is an American kid. Well, he's a man. But here's an American young man that happens to go into a Muslim, a mosque. Let's see what happened to him.
Federal investigation, I think by the DOJ or by the FBI, as far as there was a concern that Sharia law may be taking place here, and they did a full, what? I'm not lying, I'm talking about the investigation that happened. I'm not lying. There was an investigation, they found that no Sharia law was taking place with the investigation. What do you mean am I allowed to be here? Of course I'm allowed to be here.
No, you're not. Are you Muslim?
No.
This is property for the mosque. It's not for you. Hey.
Property for the mosque, not for you.
You're on private property. I need you on the other side.
Okay, so I can't be on this part? I can't be on this side of the street?
You need to be on the other side of the rope or on the sidewalk.
Just because of private property?
This is private property, yes. Till
then. Okay, so like they.
So what happens when they build a city again? The whole city will be private property to Muslims only.
You can kick me off the mosque. Yeah, no, I understand, but I'm just wondering why.
Public side's right there.
All right, I got you. All right, you guys. Just
That's a road. That's public
property, I guess. I just got moved off, and they told me I had to come on the side of the sidewalk.
Very simple. Just on the other side.
He hears them talking to other Americans, and then he comes in here to break it up. Does that say FAFO? F-A-F-O on that belt? Son of a bitch. Using our own language against us. These bastards.
That yellow tape. Just on the other side. And you're...
There you go. You typical loving Muslim right there. Kicking off in America. Look at this American right here looking at him like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Good, okay? You can do whatever you want.
All right. Okay, you guys, we already got kicked off the property of the mosque. It's kind of weird.
And click right here to see what happens.
You see what I'm saying? Well, let's not stop there. Let me see if we can find something else. What's going on here? Let's see. Abbott, governor of Texas, bans Sharia law from ever being implemented anywhere in Texas. And I think that it should be like that everywhere. With that being said, we're not going to go into so much about what Texas is doing, but we know that Sharia law is off. Off limits. You're not going to bring that into our country. So what? No, don't kick anybody off. Just if they're threatening or something, okay? Okay. Let's see. Green Dad says, yeah, I live in Switzerland. It is a total mess. Affordable health care, 30 PTOs, free and good schools, and my kids play outside on their alone. I earn 200,000 US dollars a year and never work more than 40 hours a week. Lee. Damn. $200,000. That's how much Congress makes here in the United States of America. Well, after $18 billion in fraud in Minnesota, well, I can see how that might be a little problem. All right, let's go ahead and before I get to the article that I'm going to read to you, let's continue with this one right here. I know, leftists, you guys don't like Fox, but hey, if the news is right, you got it. Says it as I sees it. All right? Now, we know... Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I almost messed up right here. Come on. There we go. Okay, so we know that the radical Muslims want Sharia law. Now, here, this is what they said, and I don't know if you guys heard it. But what CARE was saying, defending themselves, was this. They said, we don't want to bring Sharia law to overrule the United States laws. Here's the catch, and this is where they get most people. Sharia law, it's something that only people that are spiritually connect follow. Only those who are true Muslim believers accept Sharia law. Meaning the same shit. They will punish somebody according to what the Sharia law calls for. They will stone somebody to death. They will burn them alive. They will hang them. I'm telling you something. LGBTQ, you guys are cooked with Muslims. Let these Muslims come into your neighborhood. I'm telling you right now, even though you really don't deserve my help, because you guys hate Christian churches, because you guys hate our president, and you call us Nazis, bigots, etc. You deserve to be mistreated by these people that you so-call and defend. But we're not going to do that. We're going to stand up for justice. We're going to stand up for what's right. And even you guys will benefit from us fighting for justice, because we do believe that you are a free person in this country and you can do whatever you want, and we will defend that freedom. But remember this, your rights do not trump my rights. It's that simple. All right? Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and read one more thing here, and then I'll read the article.
Some new pressure today on Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, as the feds say that fraud in his state could total $9 billion, up from the estimate of $1 billion. This thing is just absolutely exploding. We heard the $1 billion estimate a few weeks ago.
The magnitude of the fraud in Minnesota cannot be overstated. It's staggering amounts of money that have been lost. But it's not just about the money that's been stolen and wasted. This is a problem that's caused all of us to question what kind of state we live in.
So now almost 100 Minnesota mayors have written to Governor Walz and state lawmakers. Quote, fraud, unchecked spending, and inconsistent fiscal management in St. Paul have trickled down to our cities, reducing our capacity to plan responsibly, maintain infrastructure, hire and retain employees, and sustain core services without overburdening local taxpayers. Two of those mayors are going to join us in just a moment, but first to Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel reporting live from D.C. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Martha. Yeah, the chairman of the powerful House Oversight Committee is demanding answers. James Comer says his committee is expanding its investigation into massive fraud and money laundering in Minnesota's social services programs. Comer's asking for records from the Treasury and Justice Departments, including suspicious activity reports and interviews with state officials. Comer says honest whistleblowers were ignored.
The state employees who were the first to blow the whistle on the fraud, they claim that they notified Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison years ago. So this has been going on for years. The state employees have been blowing the whistle and alerting the governor, and he's turned a blind eye.
With some suggesting the fraud in Minnesota could be as much as $9 billion, Governor Walz says that's an exaggeration.
I'll take accountability for it, but what you're seeing here is you're seeing a weaponization. We'll continue to fix it. They're going to continue to come up with numbers that don't have it there, and it's sensationalized. I don't expect anything different from this administration.
The letter from those Minnesota mayors notes, quote, "Our state owes it to our citizens to practice responsible fiscal management and to stop taxing our families, seniors, and businesses out of Minnesota." Chairman Comer says the governor was aware but did not act because he did not want to offend Minnesota's Somali population. Martha?
Mike, thank you very much. Let's bring in two of the nearly 100 mayors who wrote to Governor Walz and state lawmakers about fraud. Like most Minnesota mayors, they're nonpartisan when they run for mayor. But Jackson Purfirst from Cross Lake has volunteered for the RNC, and Andrea Zupanicic from Babbitt is running for state Senate as a Republican. Welcome to both of you. It's great to have you with us today. I just want to put up on screen here, this is the $9 billion in Minnesota fraud schemes. So on the left-hand side is what this money was supposed to be for. And we'll go tight on here so you can see it. Feeding children, helping recovering addicts, helping disabled adults. This was during COVID for the most part. But the money went to wire transfers to China and East Africa, a villa in the Maldives, luxury vehicles, and designer jewelry. You can see the list here. But you hear what Governor Walz is saying, Mayor Purfirst. He's saying, this is up to like the local, the local management here. And he's taking the blame off of himself as governor. What do you say to that?
Martha, that is just absurd. I mean, Minnesotans have been fleeced to the tune of $9 billion. This is done from fraud right out of the Minnesota Capitol in St. Paul, as well as the policies that are being championed and brought across the finish line by the legislature. Both the legislature and the governor are at fault for the fraud and the constant policies that are taxing Minnesotans.
Let's put up Minnesota's rank among key growth indicators. Very anemic and devastating growth numbers actually across the state that have happened under this governor. But Mayor Zupanicic, let me ask you about something that Mike Emanuel reported at the end there, this question about whether or not the governor looked the other way on potentially $9 billion of fraud because he didn't want to point out that the majority of those who were accused and then convicted in these cases were from the Somali community. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't understand what difference that makes to anyone else. How would anyone else be approached or confronted if they stole money from someone? They would all be acknowledged and have to go forward with the consequences of their actions. We're sitting here bearing the brunt of everything: tax hikes, gas taxes, property taxes, boating taxes, gas taxes. We can't go anywhere. We can't go fishing. And he's afraid to offend someone. Well, what about me? I know my town, we're all offended that we're paying for all of this fraud to go on, and it's just coming out now when they've known about it for years. What's going to happen now? And let's just call it what it is. It's stealing. It's not, It's stealing. You're stealing from the state of Minnesota. You're stealing from the taxpayers that make this state the great state that it is. And how are we going to recoup from that?
I want to play this. This is Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison put out this video on Friday talking about how effective he's been in fighting scams in Minnesota. Watch this.
Scammers think Minnesotans are easy targets. They are wrong.
When scammers go after our seniors, students, or families, I step in fast and we shut them down.
If you plan to scam Minnesota...
Wait, did he just advertise for Amazon? Oh, some bitch.
Minnesotans, think again. You're stepping into the wrong ring.
Who thought this was a good idea, Mayor Purfirst? This went out on Friday.
You know what, Martha, I really have no clue. I wish that Attorney Keith Ellison would get back to work. I mean, this is insane. He is not doing anything to protect Minnesotans that are getting fleeced by Governor Walz and the current policies coming out of the Capitol.
All right, we'll see where this goes.
Well, there you have it, folks. And that will bring me to my X account, and then I still have the article that I want to read. You know what? Why don't we read the article first? I've been holding you guys ransom here. It looks like. Let's go ahead and do. What do Muslims want with Sharia law? Do they want Sharia law in America? Well, here we go. The AI tells us a little overview about it, and I find that there's some key points very interesting and worthy of mention. Will I call this a fact? Most likely not, but here we go. Let me know what you think about this article. Do Muslims want Sharia law in America? The answer is no. The majority of American Muslims do not want Sharia law to replace U.S. law. Pay attention. They are generally satisfied with the secular legal system, viewing Sharia law more as a personal, ethical guidance for daily life. While existing laws already handle conflicts, according to studies and organizations like the ACLU and the Center for American Progress. Fear about imposing Sharia often stems from misunderstanding, as Muslims practice it within legal boundaries, they say, focusing on marriage, divorce, rituals, and finance, not criminal codes, and the U.S. Constitution's separation of church-state prevents religious law from overriding national law. You got to pay attention right here. Key points: personal versus legal code. Most U.S. Muslims see Sharia law as a spiritual and more moral guidelines for personal conduct, not a replacement for American courts' laws. I'm going to pause right there, and I'm going to search Sharia law so that we can be on the right page. Let's take a look. Here we go. Sharia law punishments vary significantly by crime and legal school, broadly categorized into fixed penalties, hudud for severe offenses like theft, adultery, retaliatory justice, qisas for bodily harm, and discretionary punishments, tazir, for other offenses, with penalties including flogging, amputation, and execution, stoning, beheading, for severe cases like adultery, theft, highway robbery, and apostasy. That's a nice one. Though conditions for implementations are strict and interpretations differ, as seen in modern applications. Well, let's take a look. I mentioned some of these already. Types of punishments. The list is long, so be patient. It'll be over very soon. For the hudud, fixed punishments for specific sins against God, requiring high standards of proof. Theft. You ready? Amputation of the right hand. Yeah, I agree with that. Zina, unlawful sexual intercourse or adultery, lashing out for the unmarried, stoning for the married. I don't know if I agree with that. Base hadith, not in the Quran. Kadif, false accusation of zina. 80 lashes. What the hell is zina? What is zina? Anybody, put it in the comments below, please. Put it in the chat. What is zina? Help me out. And then the next one is apostasy. Capital punishments in some schools. And the Maliki, Hanbali, and the Shia. You want to have this as Sharia law? You want to practice this on your spiritual daily life? I say go for it. You know what? As long as it only covers Muslims, go for it. But if you touch a Christian, if you touch anybody else that is not a Muslim, you shall be destroyed. 100% annihilation. Dang, that sounded very, very, very deep. Maybe I went overboard on that one. But hey, ask and you shall receive. Quizás retaliation. For bodily harm, murder, or assault, allowing victims' families to seek equivalent punishment or compensation, maybe forgive. The tazir, discretionary. For other crimes like perjury, bribery, etc., with punishments ranging from reprimands to imprisonment or death, decided by the judge. Wait a minute. I thought they said, wait a minute. I thought they said that Sharia law is not to overrule the American law. But so far, it sounds like it is. Yeah. It sounds like it is. Because in our stupid system, we believe in due process. We believe in due process. And when people commit a robbery, when people commit adultery, they don't go to jail. When they commit fornication, they don't go to jail. There is no punishment under American law. See, our system is so stupid, right? If you steal, if you go to 7-Eleven and grab some candy and some candy bars and steal, your right hand gone. That is not the American way. It's a due process. And the due process shows once you're convicted, or here's some jail time. And then you can go free and do it again. Yes, why not? Under Sharia law, you have no right hand. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Isn't that awesome? Sharia law is an Arabic of law, he says. Okay. All right. Key aspects of considerations. Here we go. Maybe something's better here. High evidentiary standards. Hudud punishment often require multiple reliable witnesses or confessions, making convictions very difficult. It reminds me of a time of this Jew. Yes. This Jew was walking around loving everybody. He loved the tax collector. Oof. The people hated him for that one. How dare he love a tax collector? Huh. Oh, that's right. He went inside a sinner's house and had fellowship with them, ate and drank. Yeah, he should be punished. He forgave the sins. He made miracles, brought people back from the dead, restored the sight to the blind, allowed the mute to speak, allowed the deaf to hear, allowed the paralyzed to feel and walk again. Oh, yes, he must be punished, but he cannot be punished. Why? No, this is not a Muslim law. I'm just giving you an example of what happens when you have confessions and witnesses. Pontius Pilate comes out, as it is in the holiday, that one prisoner be released. Hold on, essay. Nobody called yet. I'm not taking calls. One prisoner will be released. Well, in order for this, he needed the people to request, to choose who they wanted. Did they choose to free Jesus? The guy that's been causing all these problems, healing people, loving people, accepting people? Or did they want a known criminal like Barabbas? A known criminal, convicted, 100%. Somebody in the crowd went in and snuck in some dollars, some money, some gold, some silver, whatever the exchange was back then. And they all said, we want Barabbas, crucify Jesus Christ. There you go. So, witnesses, yeah, unless you have actual factual proof, DNA, evidence, your word means nothing. Okay? So, there you go. High evidence standards. Deterrence and rehabilitations. Well, here we go. Maybe there's something nice in here. Okay. Punishments aim to deter future crime and rehabilitate offenders, with emphasis on minimizing pain and prohibiting torture. Because how else do we, how else do we rehabilitate somebody that stole something? You already cut off the right hand. How are you going to help them work with the right hand? There's no right hand anymore. Oh, they can cut again. You take the other hand. Now, how are you going to rehabilitate them? Very interesting. Very interesting take. All right, but here's the modern application. Okay, here we go. Now, we're probably going to find out what this whole thing is all about. Here we go. Modern application, though. While these penalties are codified, their application varies widely. Some, like stoning, for example, are controversial and rarely implemented, with many countries applying modern prison sentences or fines instead. So, as long as you are on an American soil, okay, then you will follow the laws of this country. And this is just what I'm saying. They are saying that they're going to practice their Sharia law because that's in the spiritual guidance that they want to follow. Now, what you have to understand is our moral code of ethics in our country, it is derived from Judaism, Christianity. It is derived from the commandments, the 10 commandments that was given to Moses for the people. See, our moral code of ethics and conduct comes from God. So we believe in the Bible, even though many people don't, right? But we believe in the Bible. Now, some people were saying there was 88 books. Well, let me tell you something. When you see a book that says belongs in the Bible and it's talking about fingering your brother, that is not a book that you want in the Bible. It contradicts the Bible. Now, the book of Enoch, it contradicts the Bible. Now, it could be a nice story. You can learn all about it. It's fantastic. Many books that contradict the rest of the books are not allowed because the Word of God should not contradict itself. Nothing in the Bible contradicts itself. Nothing. Just saying, for all of you who believe or don't believe, doesn't matter. We got 115 votes. 19% of you believe that raising taxes for more social benefits will help the poor class more. Oh my God. See, this is why we are struggling. This is why we're struggling. All right? So-called is in here? I'm gonna ignore him. Every time he comes in here, he got nothing positive. I had some negative people on here. They called. They were fantastic. I think their comments were okay. They were legit. The first one was a little feisty. They're trying to fight me a little bit there. Little Michael. Trying to fight me a little bit. But, I mean, his point is taken. He has the right to think the way he thinks. We disagree. Obviously, okay, we disagree. We agree to disagree. Right? He did wish me a Merry Christmas. I appreciate it. It's fantastic. Anthony called in. He has a lot of knowledge on all, and theories on things, which most people won't understand. But he was very polite. I respect his knowledge. I respect his input. It was very nice, and I like to have that. But when people just come in here and they just start saying, oh, liar, oh, this and that, it's like, how am I going to take you serious? How will I take you serious? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and change gears here with you guys, and let's go ahead and attend to this poll. Okay? We're going to close it up. I know it's only 100-something votes. It's okay. But I want you to know this, okay? You got 81% of the people in my channel believe that creating more jobs will benefit the poor class more. 19%. They believe on raising taxes. Now, what's the problem with that? And I'm going to give you the most basic. You guys have heard this many times over in your life, okay? Many times over in your life, you've heard this before. What happens when we just keep our mentality of let's tax the rich because they're getting richer and we're getting poorer? How is that? Okay. Let's go with socialism for a little bit. You believe that socialists, I mean, that's what they want, right? The poor people, they need more social benefits. Okay. Where we get that money is we get the money from the rich. Okay. Get the money from the rich. Now, what happens when the poor get more money breaks? There is a reason why we're poor. Let me say that again. There is a reason why we are poor. What is that one reason? For many people, it could be many different things. But the main one is, and I'm not going to talk about disabled people, legit disabled people, old widows, senior citizens. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people that are workers, that are able to work, that are poor. Okay? How will they benefit? Okay, well, they get money. Oh, you know what? I want to tell you a quick story real quick from the Philippines. There is this American guy. He married a Filipina. They met here in the States, somewhere in the other states. They fell in love. They got married. 2 years later, they decided that will be a lot more beneficial to move back to the Philippines. Now, you guys probably have heard many stories like this because it's true. So what happens is this. So they moved to the Philippines. It doesn't sound like a bad idea. I'm telling you that. Make this show in the Philippines. I'll be sitting pretty. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, so they moved to the Philippines. And, you don't need that many dollars to survive in the Philippines. I mean, $800 will take you a long way. $1,500, you're living nice. $1,500 a month, you're living nice. You're more than middle class, okay, in the Philippines. So they started to give family members, right, on her family side, Filipinas. They started to give, JR, I'm sorry, brother, I missed your call. I saw that missed call afterwards. I was typing something. Okay, so They started giving these monthly payments to some of their family members because of this. They saw that they were working so hard. They were hustling. They were doing everything to be able to make some money for their family. They're poor, and so they're struggling. And so they thought, okay, what about if we give them this X amount of dollars? Then they can continue to work, but now they're going to have more financial stability. They'll be able to buy some good food. They'll be able to even go and spend some money like tourists. You know what I'm saying? And what happened? They stopped working. Why? Because the money that they were working so hard to get was so hard to get. And even though it was the same amount of money that they were getting for free, instead of saying, hey, I get this money for free and I'm working my ass off for this, bam, now I got a double pay. Instead of thinking that way, they thought, why should I work? The money they give me is enough. You know what they did? The Filipina, not the American. The Filipina said, you don't get any money from us anymore. You know why? Because her father and her mother were business owners. They worked their ass off for their money. Their sisters the same way. Their brother the same way. But these particular cousins in the family, they started getting this free money. And all of a sudden, I don't want to work hard anymore. It happens all the time. It's just how it is. So my poll proves why we have a problem in this country. See, 20% of you guys say that raising taxes to provide more social benefits for the poor will help the poor more. But in reality, you are destroying the poor people. You're destroying them. They have no way to be independent. They have no way to dream anymore. You kill their dreams. You kill their aspirations. You kill their reason to live. And what is the cause of it? Women, they don't need a husband no more because now they can get a Section 8, free rent, free electricity, free money. They get cash, free food, free housing. Guys, they don't need you. What does that do? It breaks the nuclear family. Guess what? When a woman struggles and a man also struggles, and they realize that together they can build a home together and be happy as long as you love each other. Remember that old saying? As long as I have you, I have everything to be happy. But that has changed. As long as I have welfare, I will be happy. And all I got to do is open the factory and allow somebody to go ahead and start making some babies in there. And I'm just going to get more welfare, more food, keep my free housing. There is people that have been in welfare for so long, they tell their children, don't work. I want to stay on welfare. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Somebody tell me I'm lying. So, the most famous, the most simplest advice anybody has ever given us is, instead of giving a man a fish, teach him how to fish. So that when you're not there, they're not dependent on you, so that they can always depend on themselves. So no, taxing the rich more to create more social benefits does not help the poor people. It enables them to stay poor, and they will never come out of that hole. Does that make sense? I think it's very simple. All right, okay. So we know Epstein files. We already talked about Epstein. We can touch on this again, maybe tomorrow morning. Epstein files. We touched about Gaza and Israel a little bit. Not everybody wanted to have the balls to call me today. That's okay. We'll talk about it another day. We talk about Muslims, Sharia law. We're talking about Muslims outbreeding Americans. A man with multiple wives can always outbreed a man with one wife. They say Sharia law is only for a spiritual use. Yet, we know what the Sharia law stands for. We know what the punishments are. We know what the ethics is, spiritual ethics is on Sharia law. And whether they say that it's not there to overcome our American law, they will. It will. We're not stupid. They still put it in there. They're going to twist it in there so that you think it's true and it's harmless. It's no big deal. Sharia law. The jihad is no big deal. It's just, it's just a spiritual thing. But before you know it, when they outnumber us, they're going to do the same thing that they did in the EU. They're going to do the same thing as they did in Europe. The British know about it. That's right. Very interesting. Very interesting. The British don't allow you to have freedom of speech anymore. What? The British allowed Muslim radicals in their government. Why? Because the Muslims came in and said, hey, you're a Christian. The Bible says this. You know what? They ignored the beginning of Jesus Christ's ministry. And that, my friends, is exactly what I'm going to read to you tomorrow. I hope my eyes are not too tired, but we're going to do prayer, 7 a.m. Pacific time. That'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time. I don't know what I'm going to pray for, but we're going to pray to God. And if anybody comes in, please, I am going to make, I don't know, if you're going to be with me here tomorrow, now I'm not going to hold you to it, I promise. If you're going to be with me tomorrow at 7 a.m. for prayer, put a 1 on the chat, and I'm going to make you a moderator. And what I want you to do is, while I'm praying, okay, you guys be my eyes. Anything negative on the chat gotta go, unless there is an amen, unless they are agreeing with us, unless there's a hallelujah or something. Maybe they want to put a prayer themselves. Father, I ask for this. Leave it there. Every other comment that is negative is got to go. Okay, so this is for tomorrow. I will not hold you to it, okay? I will make you a moderator so you can keep the chat clean. Not tonight, tomorrow morning. Thank you, Dems. Derek, just in case. Robert, already there. Junior. Let's see. We don't have a little crime chef this night. All right, we'll find one. You already can tell that I'm finished, huh? I still got an article to read from X account. I'm going to put you in the cutting edge. Again, guys, I'm not going to hold you to it. I promise. I just really want us to seriously, if you want to be here for prayer, you can. And all I want you to do is just keep the chat clean. You know, praises, hallelujahs, prayer requests. Even if I don't see it, I will try to read, but I really want to concentrate on what I'm saying. You know, we will do that. So yes, please, by all means, pray with me as well. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate you. No, cat dog, that's not the kind of prayer we want to do. Oh man, you guys are crazy. All right, I'm not going to be able to find. You guys are nuts. All right, let me see. Let me find you once before I close. Crime Chef. There is a 3-hour-long Crime Chef. Are you guys down for that one? No, man, we're not doing that one. Let's see. I'm going to see if I find something that we haven't seen. Well, I think we've seen most of them, to be honest. I think we've seen all of them. Let's see. He didn't do nothing. None of them did nothing. All right, let's see. I think we got this one right here. I don't think we have seen it yet. So, all right, I'll get it ready for you guys right there. All right, let's see. Anybody else? Any more ones in here? Brian, I don't know if you're going to make it, but I'm going to make you a mod here for tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., guys, 10 Eastern time. Okay. I think you guys are okay. I know, man, it's already 10 p.m. already for me, but that's all right, brother. Okay. Brian, Robert, you guys are with me all the time, it seems like, so I appreciate you. And God bless you guys for that. And guys, let's keep it together. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. This is not something that we do every day. I don't know what I'm going to pray for tomorrow. I'm just going to flow with it and see what comes out. You know, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Baba wants to be part of it. Okay. Just remember, guys, you guys will not be judged. I'm letting you know ahead of time, before God, that you guys are going to keep this chat. Here's the things that I want you to pray for, okay? If you guys get here after me, pray for of course, for whatever you think that you need to pray for, but I'm going to have a request that you pray for me and my family, pray for protection, pray for next year. You guys know we're going to put our name on the ballot, running for governor. We'll see. We need a couple $1,000s in there. I know that Bernil has already given $1,000 in. We need $2,000 minimum to be able to put our name on the ballot, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see where God takes us. And so I want you to pray for that. Let it be God's will, not our will, but God's will. And that's it. That's all I want you to concentrate on. Of course, you guys can pray with me with your eyes open, and then just make sure that the chat stays clean. For example, if Kev Dog comes in here and starts saying that, we're just going to remove him, okay? Very good example of who I want removed from the chat. Unless they're over here supporting, of course, God bless them, right? All right, with that being said, Oh, yes. Breaking news. We're going to go ahead and get this 4-minute clip here really quick before we see our crime chef. Hey, I thank you guys for hitting the like button. If you haven't done that, please do so. I better have at least 150 likes on that video since that's the people that we have. This is breaking news. Denmark slams Maduro's regime over elections. Human rights violation, AC-14. For those of you who like human rights, well, let's take a listen to see what they say.
To discuss the topic in October. We have taken note of the letters sent to the Security Council by the permanent representative of Venezuela over the past several weeks, expressing concern about continued escalations and military buildup. Denmark also takes note of the official statements from the United States government on their operations to combat drug traffickers and stem the illicit flow of illegal narcotics. Mr. President, drug trafficking remains a persistent threat to the safety, health, and well-being of millions around the world. Denmark recognizes the devastating impact of this organized crime and underscores that all counter-narcotic efforts must be done in accordance with international law, including the fundamental principles and rules in the UN Charter. This also includes treaties such as the UN Convention Against Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances and the UN Convention on Law of the Seas. We further stress multilateral initiatives and enhanced international cooperation to combat drug trafficking, to target sources of financing, and to bolster border control. Regional mechanisms and cooperation remain important in the fight against transnational organized crime. Mr. President, Denmark underscores the importance of preserving the Caribbean as a zone of peace, as proclaimed by leaders of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. Denmark strongly urges all parties to strictly adhere to international law and to de-escalate tensions and exercise the necessary restraint. Maritime security in the Caribbean Sea must be preserved. Differences must be resolved through peaceful means, diplomacy, and political solutions. We further urge greater engagement with the United Nations and regional bodies such as the CARICOM and the OAS to play a role in facilitating dialogue and de-escalation. Mr. President, before I conclude, I want to express Denmark's solidarity with the people of Venezuela and their inherent right to democracy, freedom, and inalienable human rights. We do not believe the democratic will of the people of Venezuela was respected during the election in 2024, which were not transparent and also failed to meet the international standards of electoral integrity. We further remain deeply troubled by the Maduro's regime's continued repression and its sustained assault on the fundamental human rights of the Venezuelan people, particularly through its targeting of opposition voices, independent media, and human rights defenders. We recall that a UN fact-finding mission earlier this week reported that Venezuela's Bolivarian National Guard has committed serious human rights violations and crimes against humanity in Venezuela for more than a decade with full impunity. In this context, we regret the recent decision of the National Parliament of Venezuela to initiate the country's withdrawal from the International Criminal Court. Denmark calls on the Venezuelan Authority to restore democratic institutions, political stability and human rights for the Venezuelan people. I thank you.
Good job, Denmark.
I thank the representative of Denmark for the statement.
Good job, Denmark. Good job. All right, guys. The moment you've been waiting for. Let's get into it. What you got for us, Crime Chef?
This is the moment. The Putnam County deputy approaches the van. Investigators say they stopped it because of the strong smell of marijuana.
Hola, amigo.
The driver hands the deputy a Guatemalan passport, telling the deputy they're headed to Georgia.
Georgia? Okay.
When the officer gets to the side door,
no English? No.
This is what he finds.
80? Okay.
People and luggage crammed into every available space.
You speak a little English?
No. According to sheriff's investigators, there are 16 adults in this van, as well as 2 children,
It looks like Sleepy Joe tried to send us in one last shipment of illegals before he calls it quits. Before a leftist, Karen says that these are just hard-working people. I want to point out the obvious. They were using drugs right in front of children and they had no seatbelts. These are not the type of people we need in America.
Ages 3 and 4 years old.
There's 15 people in this van. Bring them all out, or? Yeah.
Deputies will tell News 2 there are no car seats and the children are sitting on their mother's lap.
The babies were in the very back with the mother, definitely exposed to a lot of marijuana from inside the vehicle. And the mother did tell one of our deputies that they hadn't had much to eat the entire trip from Michigan. She was basically feeding them a little bread, a little water as she could get it.
To me, this sounds like a human trafficking operation that was uncovered. Great work to these deputies in Putnam County. I've already submitted a FOIA request and will upload the entire body camera video without the annoying news guy once I get it.
Inglés? No. Español? Poquito.
The deputies ask if anyone speaks English. Nobody does.
Gracias.
One.
Gracias.
After another.
Gracias.
People exit the van, handing the deputies passports and ID cards from Guatemala, Mexico, and Haiti. Do you know how they came to this country?
We do not know that at this time. Obviously, we'll work with ICE and try to drill down on some of that. And
once deputies get into the van, they'll find 4 pounds of marijuana and $8,000 in cash. According to investigators, the van was transporting these people from Michigan to Georgia. That's where they say they were going to work as part of some kind of farming operation. According to investigators, 13 of the 6 adults are now in ICE custody. 3 of the adults who were transporting the marijuana, they're being held in the Putnam County Jail to face drug charges.
If you have any woke Karens at your Thanksgiving table this year, make sure to show them this video. We need to stop these obstructionists from slowing down ICE and get these criminals the hell out of our country.
You look around here and nearly every storefront is in Spanish. This is where Border Patrol agents showed up Sunday and ran after a man right up to this door here.
This right here is the problem, folks. We have criminal business owners that are aiding and abetting illegal aliens. These business owners are using America to make a quick buck while they don't believe in anything this country stands for. It's an absolute disgrace.
Whenever anyone comes in, employees at North Tryon Laundromat lock the door behind them. David Rebolloso decided to start doing that after a man being chased by Border Patrol sprinted through his door Sunday. The security camera shows the agent turn away, but inside...
He ran in running and yelling, and all the customers that were inside, they got all agitated and they ran right behind him.
After a bit of a bottleneck at the back door, they streak across the parking lot and into a wooded area.
A lot of my clients who are majority immigrants, they're very nervous and scared.
I find it very disturbing that the news headline at the bottom says support for immigrants when this is literally criminal behavior. Also, this business owner says his customers are scared because of Border Patrol, which means his customers are mostly illegals.
Now my laundromat is practically empty, so I have no customers and I have no business.
And that's exactly what you deserve for supporting illegals and betraying Americans.
As a U.S. citizen and Air Force veteran, Rebolloso felt safe to stay open. He says no other Hispanic-owned businesses in the shopping center did the same Monday. But Tuesday, the supermarket a couple doors down was locking its door too, and a manager delivered groceries to customers unwilling to leave.
All right. If you answer me this question, I will answer your question. Don't remove the comment. Don't remove the comment. Who said, J Money says, Dennis, take ICE out of our city and put them back at the border. I will say yes to that if you can take all the illegal immigrants out of this country and send them back to their country. I agree with you. We'll send ICE back to the border.
Leave home. But you would do this as long as necessary, right?
Yeah, because it's my people.
Rebolloso is also doing free laundry pickups and...
See, that's the key. It's my people. No. Your people are people that break the law. If it's your people, tell them to go back home. Let me tell you why people defend them. Because they're making money out of it. They don't really care. They don't really care about their people. They just care that they're making money in their business. I see it. I get it. But that is not the way we do things.
drop-offs for his regulars.
I mean, I'm there to help my people, to protect my customers.
ICE needs to follow him as he makes these deliveries and arrest every single one of these so-called customers, then arrest the business owner at the end of it.
Multiple businesses in the shopping center have signs up that say ICE and Border Patrol not welcome inside. To go into private areas of businesses, immigration agents do need a warrant. Live in Charlotte, David Schumann, Queen City News.
This video should be evidence enough for a judge to sign a warrant. Share this video with DHS.
A Metro Detroit couple accused of employing nearly 250 undocumented workers. They were found at a plumbing company in Plymouth.
And they are facing serious charges and serious time behind bars if they are convicted of these charges.
This is music to my ears. Lock them up.
Now, according to the Department of Justice, U.S. Attorney's Office out of the Western District of New York, the couple was investigated between January 2022 and August 2025. Their names, 36-year-old Moises Orduna Rios and 30-year-old Raquel Orduna Rios. They operated Orduna Plumbing, a national company based here in Michigan. DOJ alleges that they made $74 million while employing 253 people, many of them who were undocumented workers.
That's millions of dollars stolen from American plumbers and businesses who hire legal Americans. 250 jobs taken away from real Americans who need it.
And allegedly, the workers lived in overcrowded houses and hotel rooms. Then, Tuesday, the couple was arrested and officially charged with conspiracy, transporting and harboring unauthorized aliens for commercial advantage or private financial gain, money laundering, and others. Fox 2 reached out to attorney Todd Perkins, who's tried cases in federal court. He's not in any way connected to this particular case, but he shared his thoughts about how he sees it all unfolding.
That's a very nice house they have. It should be seized by the government and sold, and all the money should go back to taxpayers in the community.
How do I see it coming down? You know, it's going to be based upon the witnesses that they have. They indicated in the complaint I saw, you know, it's a 27-page complaint, and I saw that they had person being alien number 11, 12. So it says to me that they have a multitude of different individuals. How many of these individuals will be consistently stating and supporting the allegations? And it indicated that in this business, they checked the employment records, and apparently only 5 were legally present or had work visas or were citizens. I don't know specifically.
This Michigan couple decided to open their own unlicensed, unregulated B&B for foreign nationals. How charitable of them. Nothing says compassion like allegedly harboring unauthorized individuals and, according to the DOJ, helping one of them score a fake Social Security card. It's the modern-day version of the Underground Railroad if the railroad's final stop was blatantly flouting federal immigration law for personal benefit. I'm sure the usual suspects will soon be hailing them as heroes. Brave, sanctuary city entrepreneurs fighting against the cruel, oppressive concept of a sovereign nation having borders. Because who needs a legal immigration process when you can just have a couple in Michigan running their own ad hoc consulate? It's a beautiful reminder that on the political left, empathy is often just a synonym for selective lawlessness for personal gain.
Yeah, and we know that these are the 250 involved, but on top of that, are they looking into the possibility that they've done this before, or they've worked with other people who are undocumented as well?
Roop, I can tell you at this time that there are just so many unanswered questions. As I said, we've been digging into it all day, and we're wondering the same thing. You know, is there a past with this? What else is going on in this? What else don't we know? But we just know at this time about what's stated in that 27-page complaint, that they have accused of hiring over 200 of those undocumented workers and 200 people.
They just cannot say the word illegal aliens. They just can't say it. And if you guys don't know, this is the Crime Chef channel. Make sure I give you guys that little view there. Crime Chef is the channel that exposes the truth the media hides. Real ICE operations. I like what he's doing. I support him. I really like him. I haven't met him in person. He did send me a very polite, nice email. So now the Dennis Herrera subscribers, followers, friends, family, They all now support the crime chef as we speak. Guys, I want to say thank you so much, guys, for being with me here tonight. You know what time it is. Once we get our crime chef on, the show has to come to an end. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and for becoming members. Don't forget, you guys can become members. You guys can support me monthly. If you guys like my child, please don't forget to hit that like. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 3 a.m. Eastern time. God bless you, your family, and God bless the USA. Good night, peeps.